Part 10. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 91. Ding, the family is automatically upgraded to a 6th grade family, and the host's cultivation level is upgraded to the 5th grade Dao Killing King. The Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingshi Hall, 10,000 Swords Cave, and the Mountain Guard Sword Formation Family Station are automatically upgraded to the 6th level. Obtain a top-grade spiritual vein, various royal grade seeds, top-grade rare mineral veins, top-grade rare seeds, and the family building demon locking tower. Reward ancient ferocious beasts that can grow into Kyanki. Tibetan Scripture Pavilion, Level 6 increase the weight of martial arts and enhance the effects of martial arts. The hidden talent of the clan members increased by 30%, and the chance of comprehending the artistic conception increased by 30%. The king-level top-grade exercises are automatically refreshed every day, and a king-level royal grade exercise is refreshed every half-month. Enlightenment Room, Level 6 6th floor, one layer of aura increases by 40%. The second level of spiritual energy is increased by 50%, and the third level of spiritual energy is increased by 60%. The fourth level of spiritual energy is increased by 70%, the fifth level of spiritual energy is increased by 75%, and the tribe's enlightenment rate is increased by 60%. There is a certain probability of obtaining the divine weapon of enlightenment at the 6th level of enlightenment. Family Head Jade Pendant, Level 6. The mid-level qualifications for the birth of a new family member are increased by 30%. The birth of a newborn's top-grade qualifications increases by 30%, increasing the family's spiritual energy growth rate. It can be integrated with spiritual veins and family residences, and can help the host improve to a greater realm. Family Residence, Level 6 automatically expands spiritual veins, generate spiritual fields, give birth to high-grade spiritual veins, and increase spiritual energy by 60%. 10,000 Swords Cave, Level 6 contains 10,000 swords in the world. The landing of divine weapons is increased by 30/1000, and you can obtain heaven-level mid-grade divine weapons. Mountain Protecting Sword Formation, Level 6. Those below who are touched by the Supreme Lord will die. Monument of Enlightenment, Level 6. The chance of enlightenment for clan members is increased by 30%, and the chance of understanding the artistic conception is increased according to the opponent's talent. Can be superimposed with the Enlightenment Room to add attributes, only for family members. Monster Locking Tower, Level 6 randomly releases tasks, most of which are to capture monsters, evil spirits, and magic cultivators. Lock it in the Demon Locking Tower and issue rewards according to the capture level. At the same time, the host can also obtain heavenly luck, which can be converted into exchange points. The Ferocious Beast Kyanki, the 5th level cultivation realm of the Tao Killing King. One of the 4 ancient ferocious beasts, bound to the host, containing the direct bloodline of the ancient ferocious beasts, bound to the Demon Locking Tower. After being upgraded to a 6th grade aristocratic family, the changes in the family can be seen with the naked eye. There is an open area where the family is stationed. An ancient tower with an ancient atmosphere is slowly rising from the ground. An extremely strong ancient aura hit his face. Xiao Xian stood with his hands behind his hands and looked at the ancient tower in front of him. Sure enough, it is exactly the same as the Demon Locking Tower in my impression. In front of the Demon Locking Tower, there is a ferocious beast that looks like a stone sculpture. At this moment, it was lying on the ground, licking the fur on its body. If it weren't for the murderous aura of an ancient ferocious beast emanating from it, everyone thought this was an ordinary monster. With the appearance of the Demon Locking Tower and the monsters, Xiao Xian's own cultivation level also skyrocketed. Name, Xiao Xian. Identity, head of Xiao family in Tianluo domain. Cultivation realm, level 5 of the Tao Killing King. Magic weapon, Imperial Divine Weapon Waning Moon Sword. Martial skills, Tianyu Xianfeng sword technique. After completing the practice, you can reach the top of the immortal way, powerful Wolong. After completing the practice, you can cut the void with the sword, 8 stage / 4th level, Sunfire. Exotic treasures, jade pendant and ring of the head of the family. Family buildings, Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Family Residence, 10,000 Swords Cave, 1000 Buddha Hall, Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, Wanzhang Medicine Peak, Family Ancestral Tomb, Demon Locking Tower, Trial Tower. Supernatural powers, Bei's Hang, Sword Domain, Poji, Power Breaking 10,000s, Aurora, Invincibility, Extreme Speed, Critical Hit. After checking your own situation, Xiao Xian nodded with satisfaction. Especially the exchange points, accumulated over this period of time. There are already more than 200,000 redemption points. Those secret realms and so on are almost ready for redemption. Coupled with Xiao Jiangxin's ranking on the Tiandao ranking, the number of redemption points will continue to increase. At this time, people across the vast continent were seizing the time to practice. Even the Xiao family is no exception. Redeem according to the Tiandao blessing redemption points awarded on the Tiandao ranking. About half a year or so, you can accumulate the exchange points for the secret realm. At that time, the Xiao family can also hold the dragon and tiger ranking competition again. At that time, the vast continent, regardless of resources or other aspects, have reached a saturated state. In the end, Xiao Xian decided to start the secret realm trial again half a year later. Get out of the system. Xiao Xian began to practice in seclusion. Half a year. It's not just when the Xiao family starts the dragon and tiger ranking competition. It is also the time when the spiritual energy of the vast continent is revived. With complete preparation, Xiao Xian doesn't have to worry about when the moment of spiritual energy recovery comes. Not getting the best resources. The last time the Tiandao ranking was opened, the Xiao family was prepared in advance. Only then did he occupy the top spot on the Tiandao ranking for a long time. This time spiritual energy recovery is no exception. Half a year passed quickly in the Suanmen world. The Xiao family's dragon and tiger ranking competition also kicked off. This time on the dragon and tiger list, there are still the same geniuses from the past. But many newcomers have gradually emerged. Compared to half a year ago, the strength of the Xiao family has reached a new level. This time in the battle for the dragon and tiger list, many law-level geniuses emerged. Some extremely talented disciples have even broken through the Great Dao realm and taken steps towards the Dongxi realm. Neither the Golden Body realm nor the Lo realm is the main competitiveness in competing for the dragon and tiger rankings. But this time in the battle for the dragon and tiger list, there was an extremely talented dark horse prodigy who caught Xiao Xian's attention. The opponent started by participating in the dragon and tiger ranking competition. As a dark horse, he competed all the way and finally won the top spot on the dragon and tiger list. Xiao Xian then used the Eye of Insight to check the details of this dark horse boy. Xiao Zhangtian, when he was born, his body was wrapped with strange lines. Even the forehead has blood-colored coffin lines, intertwined into a vertical eye. His parents told his fortune and learned that 3 eyes will bring bad luck, both parents will die, and 3 generations will be wiped out with blood. When he was about to abandon him, Xiao Jianfeng, the elder of the Xiao family, went to the branch to handle matters. Adopt him under his direct bloodline and raise him according to his direct bloodline. The day Xiao Zhangtian came of age, he disappeared in the forbidden area for dozens of days. When he appeared in front of everyone again, he was carrying a blood-red coffin. Various runes are engraved on the coffin, and the black iron chains binding the coffin. He was also tied up together, as if he was born from one body, and all the strange lines on his body disappeared on that day. Then Xiao Jianfeng took him back to the Xiao family, just in time for the battle between the dragon and the tiger list. However, due to insufficient cultivation, he eventually failed the ranking. When the dragon and tiger ranking was opened again, with his excellent qualifications and talents, Xiao Zhangtian won the top spot on the dragon and tiger rankings. Xiao Zhangtian was born in the Tiantian Dao body. Although he has a lonely personality and a cold heart, he attaches great importance to friendship. But once you get his approval, you will be his lifelong friend. In addition to Xiao Jianfeng, Xiao Zhangtian also has a childhood sweetheart. The two have been childhood sweethearts. In addition, the other party was born in a yin year, yin month, yin day, yin time, and has an extremely yin body. He was spotted by Wangxiang Tiangong, the top power in southern Xinjiang, and released his family to offend Wangxiang Tiangong. After the family was wiped out, the childhood sweethearts were also captured by the Vientiane Heavenly Palace and prepared to be sacrificed to a mysterious ancient ritual. After many inquiries, Xiao Zhangtian finally learned the place where his childhood sweetheart was imprisoned. As well as the main reason why his family was destroyed, Xiao Zhangtian also looked for opportunities to rescue him. But because of insufficient strength, even the sect formations of the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace could not be broken through. And the so-called offense of Wangxiang Tiangong is just a conspiracy designed to seize King Mei, who has the extremely yin body. Seeing this, Xiao Xian also knew that Xiao Zhangtian was the legendary talent rewarded by the system last time. Xiao Zhangtian's Zhangtian Taoist body is the top physique in all the worlds. And in the sky burial coffin behind him, gods, demons, immortals and Buddhas were buried. There are also endless immortal weapons and ancient treasures. As its name, bury the heavens, the earth, the immortals, the gods, the Buddhas, and the demons. You can also bury the road, even the gods and worlds. Look at the perseverance and desire for strength in the young man's eyes. Xiao Xian smiled lightly. Wangxiang Tiangong is a long-established giant clan. In southern Xinjiang, it is a giant. Even the Kailan sect, which was at its peak in the Zhongtian world at that time, did not dare to fight with it. It can be seen how strong the strength and foundation of Wangxiang Tiangong is. Not only that, the heavenly palace of all phenomena is in the gods and worlds, and even in the eternal starry sky. It also has a pivotal position. And Xiao Zhangtian's little green plum. Not to mention in Tianluo territory, even there is no power. There are not even a few strong men in the great Dao realm. How dare you offend such a giant as the Vientiane Heavenly Palace? In the final analysis, it is just for selfish desires. But Xiao Xian will not take action for this. Although Wangxiang Heavenly Palace captured Xiao Zhangtian's childhood sweetheart. But the other party has nothing to do with Xiao Zhangtian. But it's just his verbal crush. If the opponent is targeting Xiao Zhangtian, let alone Wangxiang Tiangong, even with all the strength of his clan, he will destroy the heavenly palace of all things. Think of this. Xiao Xian glanced at Xiao Zhangtian indifferently, then turned and left. He had no reason to take action against Wangxiang Tiangong. Xiao Zhangtian looked at the award in his hand that Xiao Xian personally issued. I hesitated to speak several times. This time he tried his best to win the first place in the Dragon and Tiger rankings. He just wanted Xiao Xian to help him and go to the Vientiane Heavenly Palace to rescue his lover. However, Xiao Xian was already standing in front of him, and he did not have the courage to speak. Xiao Zhangtian is the youngest person to win the Dragon and Tiger ranking this time. With his young face and determination in his eyes, even Xiao Tianyun couldn't help but take another look at him. Wait until everyone has left. Xiao Zhangtian suddenly seemed to be discouraged. After this time, he still doesn't know when he will be able to see the head of the family, Xiao Xian. Do you want the head of the family to help you get someone? Xiao Jianfeng's voice came from behind. Xiao Zhangtian turned around dejectedly and looked at him expectantly. Father, I know it's inappropriate for me to do this, but I really have no other choice. Xiao Jianfeng let out a long sigh. As the largest force in southern Xinjiang, the Wangxiang Tiangong is also an old clan from ancient times. Not only does it occupy an area in southern Xinjiang, but it is also inseparable from other powerful sect areas around it. Although you are in love with her, you two are not engaged, let alone husband and wife. If the head of the family takes action for you, the entire Xiao family will become passive. How could Xiao Zhangtian not know the pros and cons of this? But she is the love of his life. In so many dark moments, she gave herself light. Father, although I have no matchmaking relationship with her, she has long been my wife in my heart. He won the first place in the Dragon and Tiger ranking this time because he wanted Xiao Xian to see the strength of his genius. In this way, there may be a chance for Xiao Xian to show up. Xiao Jianfeng didn't want to hit him. He had no heirs in his life and had already regarded Xiao Zhangtian as his biological son. However, what he wanted to do was not something he could do just by doing it. Zhangtian, you also know that the purpose of Wangxiang Heavenly Palace is to capture the dragon spirit, so even if the head of the family comes forward, the other party may not be willing to let him go. If not, why would they go to such trouble? Zhangtian, as a father, I know how you feel, but you really want the Xiao family to do it for your childhood sweetheart. So we are in a passive situation? You must know that Wangxiang Tiangong is an established sect. They are not afraid of a family with a martial god, because within their sect, the god of war is not a rare power. Looking at Xiao Zhangtian's unwilling expression, Xiao Jianfeng finally sighed. That's all. After this experience in the secret realm, I will go to the head of the family to beg you for mercy. Hear this. Xiao Zhangtian's eyes suddenly lit up. With Xiao Jianfeng's plea, the possibility of Xiao Xian agreeing to help him becomes even greater. And he must work hard to break through during this period of time. At this moment, Xiao Zhangtian's desire for strength has reached an unprecedented height. After half a year of precipitation, the strength of the geniuses of the Xiao family has also reached another peak. Everyone in the Xiao family still occupies a place on the ranking list of Tiandao ranking. However, it has also encountered constant challenges from many geniuses from other regions. Among them, the battle between Chu Yunfan and Xiao Tianyun is the most famous. It even caused quite a commotion in Tianluo territory. But the final result was that Chu Yunfan lost to Xiao Tianyun. Even the names of the geniuses on the dragon list are constantly being updated. Not to mention the Tiandao ranking. Bai Ruofeng, who once ranked among the top 10 in the Tiandao ranking, has been ranked in these several rankings. They were almost squeezed out. It can be seen how fierce the competition for the Tiandao ranking is. Half a year. Xiao Tianyun has reached the level of strength and has broken through to the 5th level of the tribulation realm. In addition, he practices the Quafa cultivation method and has the secrets of Emperor Huangtian. Its strength has grown explosively. Even the Empress Xiao Qingyun is not completely sure that she can defeat him now. Other geniuses of the Xiao family have also broken through to the tribulation realm one after another. Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Yan have reached the cultivation realm of the 4th level of tribulation realm. Jamal Xiao and Xiao Junlin also broke through to the 3rd level of the tribulation realm. It took half a year to achieve such results, which was not too slow. Regarding the future rankings on the Tiandao ranking, Xiao Xian has full confidence in these geniuses. After checking the redemption points you currently have, Xiao Xian entered the system's secret mall. Prepare to use existing exchange points to exchange for Haoyi shooting the sun. This time, the combat effectiveness of these geniuses of the Xiao family will soar qualitatively. However, when he saw the exchange point for Haoyi shooting the sun in the secret mall, completely swearing, Day. Haoyi shoots the sun, 500,000 redemption points. Suppression of Wuzishan, 450,000 redemption points. Gong Gong angrily clashes with Buzz Aoshan, 1 million exchange points. Nuwa creates humans, 10 million redemption points. The further he looked back, the heavier Xiao Xian's heart became. The last time Nuwa created a human, she only needed tens of thousands of exchange points. This time it was a full 10 million. However, even he couldn't refute the explanation given by the system. Although Quafuzuri only spent 70,000 redemption points, the power of Quafu and the power of witchcraft contained in it. It's only 1/10,000th, but if you spend 1,000,000 exchange points, you can get 80% to 90% of Quafu's power. In comparison, the energy contained in the secret realm this time will be very huge. If the host redeems it now, it means he has earned it. Don't miss this opportunity, it will never come again. Xiao Xian rolled his eyes speechlessly. He seriously suspected that the system was depriving him of his redemption points in disguise. It seems that I finally accumulated 450,000 exchange points. Xiao Xian thought that this time he could exchange it for Hou Yi, who shot the sun with excellent combat effectiveness. As a result, he was killed. In the end, he chose to suppress the Wuzishan secret realm. Suppressing Wuzishan, this secret realm mainly tells the story of the stone monkey Sun Wukong, from making trouble in the sky to being suppressed by Wuzishan. As soon as it was confirmed, the system deducted all the redemption points. It's simply faster than the express delivery after settling the final payment on 11. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 92. Xiao Xian exchanged this time to suppress the Wuzishan secret realm. It cannot be compared with Quafuzuri, who redeemed it last time. Just painting figures makes Xiao Xian feel heartache. The last Quafuzuri secret land. In addition to Quafu vs Xiao Jin Wu, there is also Quafu of Wu Zhen level appearing. I used a few more exchange points, and even Dylan didn't spend much. But this time, except Tathagata requires a lot of exchange points. Some characters don't even appear once, and they have to kill tens of thousands of exchange points. Not to mention those figures who have a pivotal position. Tathagata, as the great disciple of Tongtian cult master, was later transformed into a Buddha by the master before he was transformed into the many treasures Tathagata. He was facing the most powerful magic weapon among the 12 disciples of Guangqinzi, who broke into Bio Palace 3 times, the heaven-turning seal. Just being beaten once, it should be noted that most immortals would have been beaten to death long ago, and none of the 12 disciples dared to do so. This treasure can only be recovered by gathering the 4 treasure flags of Laozi, Yuanqi, Jian, and Queen Mother, which shows the profoundness of Duobao Taoism. Taoist Duobao confronted Laozi and was unfortunately caught. Later, he was poached by Western leaders and others, which shows his strength. So it's worth spending the redemption points. As for the veteran quasi-sage Haoshan Emperor, Xiao Xian didn't even think about it. If it were any other Jade Emperor, he would be causing trouble in the heavenly palace. This Jade Emperor is the timid grandson. But that Supreme Lejun spent tens of thousands of exchange points without even showing up. It really hurt Xiao Xian's body. After getting these things done, everything else is easy to talk about. The secret realm that suppressed Wuzishan was finally completed. Then he directly summoned all the geniuses of the Xiao family, including Xiao Qingyun, who was far away in Nanming. After the last experience in Quafuzuri's secret realm, everyone is looking forward to this secret experience. Therefore, they followed Xiao Xian very quietly, for fear of missing any place related to the secret realm. In a burst of white mist, everyone entered another small world. Only a few lines of small words appeared on the screen in front of me. Huiguo Mountain Water Curtain Cave. A paradise-like place suddenly appeared in front of them. The spiritual energy here is rich, even when they are outside the illusion. It can also be absorbed into its own spiritual energy. This time the spiritual energy of the secret realm is hundreds of times richer than last time. Quafu had the ability to fight against Little Golden Crow last time. I wonder how powerful the people here will be. In the Huaguo mountain at this time, Sun Wukong was chatting and laughing with the 7 demon kings, changing cups and cups. Surrounding them are monkeys that can walk upright. Those monkeys exuded an aura that was enough to intimidate mountains and rivers. Everyone in the Xiao family was extremely shocked. When they saw the faces of the 7 demon kings, they were even more surprised and speechless. The aura emanating from them was across the illusion. It all gave them a feeling of suffocation. I thought Quafu was already a very powerful being, but I didn't expect their momentum to be even more powerful than Quafu. Especially the monkey in the lead gives people the feeling that everything in the world is brewing. And he actually calls himself the Monkey King. It was the reincarnated Xiao Qingyun and Xiao Junlin who saw this scene. I was also deeply shocked. They thought they had been reincarnated. No matter what you see or experience, they are already extremely rich. However, when seeing this scene in front of me, only then did they realize the insignificance of what they saw and heard. Compare this to the worlds of gods and gods they have entered. It is nothing more than a speck of dust. Xiao Xian nodded. This is our protagonist this time, Monkey King, the Monkey King. Everyone looked sideways and listened intently to Xiao Xian's explanation to them. Sun Wukong is a clever stone monkey, able to understand changes, know the time of the sky, know the advantages of the land, and can move the stars to change the battle. Parallel with it is the red-hat horse and monkey, which knows yin and yang, knows people and affairs, is good at going in and out, avoids death and prolongs life. The monkey, holding the sun and the moon, shrunk from thousands of mountains, distinguishing between good and bad, and playing with the universe. The 6-eared macaque is good at listening to sounds, able to understand, know the front and back, and everything is clear. These 4 monkeys do not belong to the 10 categories, nor do they deserve the name of 2. These divine monkeys are also tied together because of their great power. There are 5 immortals in the Zhou-Tian, which are the gods, humans, and ghosts of heaven and earth. There are 5 insects, which are scales, feathers, and insects. This fellow is neither heaven nor earth, nor a god, nor a man, nor a ghost, nor a scale, nor hair, nor feathers, nor a feather. There are also 4 monkeys in this world who do not fall into the 10 categories. Sun Wukong is one of these 4 monkeys in this world. The body is a piece of spiritual stone left by an ancient great power to patch the sky. After being nourished by all things in the world, spiritual energy gathers, and finally transformed. Everyone was shocked and speechless when they heard this. All things in the world can actually nourish spiritual beings. I thought that the 4 monkeys in the world were already powerful enough. I didn't expect that someone could break the sky. There are even strong men who can mend the sky. What kind of power is this? Even in all the gods and worlds, no such person exists. After listening to Xiao Xian's introduction, Xiao Qingyun and Xiao Junlin fell into deep thought. They had a vague guess about Xiao Xian's origin. Even Xiao Tianyun noticed that Xiao Xian's identity was unusual. The last time Quafuzuri experienced the secret realm, he already had doubts. But he attributed it to Xiao Xian obtaining a rare treasure. However, this time, after hearing Xiao Xian's story about the birth of the spirit monkey, the sky was shattered and mended. There are also 4 monkeys in the world who don't fit into the 10 categories, he knows about them. Xiao Xian may not be from their world. Uncle Xian, can the secret realm this time belong to the same world as the last time? Xiao Tianyun asked questions that Xiao Qingyun and Xiao Junlin did not dare to ask. Xiao Xian smiled calmly. They are the same world, but they are separated by 4,800 galactic years. Galaxy year, everyone was even more puzzled. Xiao Xian took a deep breath. 1 galactic year is equal to 226 million years. After everyone listened to Xiao Xian's explanation, they then made some calculations in their hearts. One galactic year is equal to 226 million years. Those 4,800 galactic years are actually, calculate how many years it is. I am not good at math and can't figure it out. Not to mention Xiao Tianyun and the others were shocked. Even Xiao Qingyun and Xiao Junlin were surprised by this astronomical figure. None of them have such a long lifespan in their entire lives. Even the longest lifespan of the powerful person I met in my previous life was only 1,000,000 years. Billion years of time. What a concept. I'm afraid I don't know how many epochs the world has experienced. How many years did Xiao Xian live? Thinking of this, Xiao Qingyun fell silent for a while. Xiao Junlin lamented that he was right to name Xiao Xian Lao Wangba. The bastard's lifespan is not as long as his. After Sun Wukong transformed into a human being, he went to Sangxing Cave and worshipped Patriarch Bodhi as his teacher. After learning 72 magical powers, he can summon somersault clouds, and he can fight thousands of miles in one go. The moment everyone heard the name of Patriarch Bodhi, immediately I thought of the Taoist priest's appearance with immortal wind and Taoist bones. He even looked at Xiao Xian expectantly. Xiao Xian touched his nose. Don't look at me. It's no use looking at me. I also want to exchange it for Bodhi Patriarch. But given his status, even if I throw in all the exchange points, it may not be redeemable. So with a wave of his hand, the stone monkey appeared in the sky rowing a boat across the sea to worship his master. Due to limited redemption points, Xiao Xian could only exchange the approximate route. Generally speaking, it is enough to have a clear idea. After all, there are not enough exchange points. The scene changes. Sun Wukong came to the East China Sea with a somersault cloud. After returning from Patriarch Bodhi, Sun Wukong went to the East China Sea and used the Dingai Divine Needle and Ruyi Golden Cudgel as his weapon. Then he went to the underworld to force Xiao's life and death, which also aroused the dissatisfaction of the Dragon King and the King of Hell. The two went to heaven to sue Sun Wukong. Under the recommendation of Taibei Jinxing, the Jade Emperor called Sun Wukong to heaven and gave him the position of Bai Mawen. After Wukong knew that Bai Mawen was just a petty official raising horses, he returned to Huaguo Mountain angrily. He also summoned the 7 demon kings, proclaimed himself king, and called himself the Monkey King. This is the scene you saw at the beginning. As Xiao Xian explained, the picture was constantly changing. Although some scenes only flashed by, it did not affect their understanding of the main plot development. When you first enter the world, you first enter heaven. Thousands of golden lights are rolling in red neon, and thousands of auspicious energy are spraying purple mist. I saw the Nantian Gate, which was dark green and made of colored glaze. It was bright and bright, made of precious jade. On both sides were placed dozens of marshals holding down the sky, one wearing a helmet and holding a lantern. There are more than a dozen golden armored gods on the 4 sides, each holding a halberd, a whip, and a sword. There are several large pillars in the inner wall chamber, and the pillars are wrapped with golden scales and sun-dazzling red-bearded dragons. There are also several long bridges, with colored feathers flying in the air and red-crested phoenixes hovering on the bridges. Mingxia shines in the sky, and mist covers the mouth. Everyone saw this scene. I just felt like my heart was shaken. This spiritual energy that fills the sky, if it stays in there for 10 days and a half, it will be like this. Even if you spend a year in the outside world, you may not be satisfied. There is also the golden armored Tianzhen marshal who cannot see the realm of cultivation. Anyone can cause an uproar in the vast world. Then the Jade Emperor sent Li Jing, the king of the Tower Li, to lead the heavenly soldiers and generals to capture Sun Wukong. However, he was defeated and retreated to heaven. On the advice of Taibei Jinxing, the Jade Emperor, the second time he recruited Sun Wukong and sealed the titular Monkey King. As Xiao Xian explained, the scene in front of them kept changing. After seeing the tower sent by heavenly King Li Tianwang, Neza, and 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals. When they were helpless, everyone couldn't help but gasp. However, Sun Wukong, who was named the Monkey King, had no suitable position for him. The Jade Emperor couldn't bear to stand doing nothing all day long. So he was sent to the peach garden to guard the peaches. Xiao Xian's explanation is matched with every frame of beautiful pictures. Let everyone be mesmerized and immersed in it. Not long after, the Queen Mother held a peach convention. Let the 7 fairies go to the peach garden to pick fairy peaches. After Sun Wukong learned that the Peach Club did not invite him, he stole peaches and elixirs to disrupt the Peach Club. After waking up from the drunkenness, he realizes that he has caused a big trouble and escapes to the lower world again. The Peach Club also ended hastily due to Sun Wukong's destruction. The Jade Emperor was furious. Erlangshen was sent to capture Sun Wukong. After seeing the heavenly soldiers and generals appearing for the second time, everyone just felt shocked. Especially the third eye on Erlangshen's forehead made them even more incredible. Coupled with his unpredictable level of cultivation, everyone is attracted to it. He even began to worry about Sun Wukong's safety. When the heavenly court besieged Huiguo Mountain for the second time, Sun Wukong was hit on the head by a diamond bracelet and fell into a coma because he was plotted against by Tai's Hanglejun. He was captured by the 6 saints led by Erlangshen and taken to heaven. The moment he saw Sun Wukong being captured, everyone's hearts were tangled together, and they even wanted to go up and help him. Sun Wukong is on top of the demon-slaying platform. He was subjected to various punishments, struck by lightning and burned by fire. Even slashing with swords. None of them could hurt Sun Wukong at all. Everyone who saw the scene had already fallen into an epiphany. A monkey transformed from a spirit stone. Even heaven is helpless to do anything about it. Upon seeing this, Tai's Hanglejun took Sun Wukong back to Tashita Palace and put him in the Bagua furnace to make elixirs. The Jade Emperor also agreed with this decision. Then a huge alchemy furnace appeared in front of everyone. Even in a fantasy world, they can also feel the blazing fire in the alchemy furnace. This flame is actually hotter than the real sun fire last time. Xiao Yan even felt that his own strange fire would only be swallowed up in front of it. What kind of fire is this? It's even more powerful than my golden crow fire. I even felt like my soul was burning. What is the structure of this alchemy furnace? It can be burned by this kind of flame and still not be melted by it? Xiao Suo on the side looked at the alchemy furnace with all his concentration. This furnace is called the Bagua furnace. It was made by Emperor Fuxi according to the Bagua directions. The flame burning inside is the 6th divine fire. After everyone heard this, they immediately became interested. Just when they were confused, Xiao Xian's explanation helped them clear up their doubts. The 6th divine fire is one of the 4 heavenly fires, showing a red flame. This fire is mysterious and has the ability to cleanse the marrow of the Book of Changes. The remaining 3 heavenly fires are the karma-cleansing golden fire, which is called the ancient flame of all spirits. Presenting golden flame. According to legend, this fire has the ability to detect all spirits. The purple fire that burns the sky is stored in the Bajing Palace lantern in the Bajing Palace. Presents purple flame. It has infinite power and is said to be capable of burning the sky and boiling the sea. The ghostly ghost fire exists in the coffin lamp in Lingju Mountain, showing grey flames. This fire reaches straight into the underworld and has the ability to reveal the life scenes of the deceased. What you see now is the Samadhi true fire derived from the 6th divine fire. Don't look at it as just a derivative and try to extinguish it. Except for existences of the level of Master Sun Wukong, the only way to survive is to rely on magical creatures. Even if you are as powerful as Sun Wukong, if you are touched by such flames, you will only be burned to death. Everyone was shocked by Xiao Xian's words. These types of flames are so powerful. Even the derived true fire of Samadhi can burn such a powerful person as Sun Wukong to ashes. At this time, Sun Wukong was thrown into the Bagua furnace by Tai's Hanglajun. Everyone was sweating in their hearts. Such a powerful Samadhi true fire would burn Sun Wukong to ashes. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 93. After Sun Wukong was thrown into the Bagua furnace, Tai's Hanglajun began his refining. The Samadhi fire around him couldn't help but burn on Sun Wukong. Even if he hid in Sun Palace, there would be only wind but no fire. His eyes were also red from the thick smoke, and he was crying. Immediately afterwards, Sun Wukong's exclamation came from the alchemy furnace. I don't know how much time has passed. Everyone could no longer hear Sun Wukong's cry in the alchemy furnace. My heart sank. Could it be that he has already? At this time, Tai's Hanglajun came to check the refining progress. Seeing that there was no more sound of Sun Wukong inside, he felt a little proud. This monster monkey ate the peaches and stole my elixir. Now it has been refining for 77 and 49 days, and it has already become an elixir. So he asked the alchemy boy to go and open the furnace. Only a burst of laughter was heard coming from the alchemy furnace. Old man, don't be happy yet, your grandpa is still alive. The sound of the stove was heard, and the great sage was covering his eyes with his hands, wiping away the runny eyes. Sun Wukong opened his eyes and saw the light, jumped out of the alchemy furnace. I saw that he was all in tatters, and his great holy clothes had been burned to ashes. With a sudden bang, he knocked down the Bagua furnace and walked out. And in the Bagua furnace, there was actually a trace of flame flowing down to the mortal world. The fire in Tai's Hanglajun's Bagua furnace is the source of all fires. Therefore, as soon as he entered the mortal world, a mountain of flames was formed. Within millions of kilometers, the eternal flame is burning. The flame mountain is like a natural barrier, separating the east from the west. The residents living near the flame mountain also lived a life like purgatory. At this time, everyone discovered something was wrong with Sun Wukong. His eyes seemed to have fire too. Everyone was attracted by the sound and looked sideways. Sure enough, there was golden fire in Sun Wukong's eyes. Those are the 77 and 49 days of being refined in the Bagua furnace with fiery eyes and golden eyes. It gave him a pair of fiery eyes, which can distinguish between good and evil and demons. All monsters are invisible to him. Everyone couldn't help but be curious after hearing this. What kind of hardships does it take to develop a fiery eye and a golden eye? Sun Wukong was able to refine it in the Bagua furnace for 77 and 49 days without any damage. Although he has developed a pair of piercing eyes, he has also endured pain that is unimaginable to ordinary people. After Sun Wukong came out of the Bagua furnace, hit the heaven directly. Holding a golden cudgel, he turned the entire heaven upside down. King Li Tianwang of Tota, the three Neza brothers, the barefoot immortal, and the Erlang god Yang Jian all went into battle. Even the heavenly soldiers and generals were almost all dispatched, but no one could do anything to him. Just when everyone thought Sun Wukong was going to dominate heaven and become the Jade Emperor, the Jade Emperor invited Tathagata Buddha. From the moment everyone heard the name of Tathagata Buddha, then I knew that this man was extremely powerful and definitely not inferior to Sun Wukong. Tathagata Buddha is the venerable Sakyamuni in the Western Paradise. He cultivated a 6-foot-long golden body on the top of Juling Mountain in Tianzhu, Hezhu, Xinyu. This person has great supernatural powers and boundless magical power. Tathagata Buddha has vast supernatural powers and boundless power. He is the supreme ruler of the Western Paradise. The representative of the highest magical power, the Buddha who is compassionate and helpful to the world and cultivates true goodness. In the horrified eyes of everyone, Sun Wukong made a bet with Tathagata, and later mistakenly thought that the 5 fingers of the breakthrough were the 4 pillars of heaven. Finally, he was crushed under the 5 elements mountain by Tathagata. 5 elements mountain contains the power of the 5 elements. Especially if Sun Wukong can break free. What's more, the Tathagata also blessed a rune on it. With the constraints of these two, even one as powerful as Sun Wukong can be strong. There is no way to break free from it. How could Sun Wukong, who was plotted against, be willing to be imprisoned here? Angry, roaring, and humiliating expressions were all displayed on him. As time goes by, all the emotions turned into helplessness at the moment when a shepherd boy delivered the peach. Hundreds of years later, Sun Wukong's body was covered with moss. Sun Dashan, who once made trouble in the heavenly palace, now actually revealed a bit of desolation. All the geniuses of the Xiao family saw this scene. I just feel that my heart is unusually heavy. Although they watched Sun Wukong's life as bystanders, but they also really put themselves into it. Xiao Tianyun was at the moment when Tathagata Buddha appeared. It feels like Sun Wukong went from apprenticeship to being suppressed under the 5 elements mountain. It all feels like it's being manipulated. Uncle Xian, I always feel like there is a big hand controlling it behind this. Xiao Tianyun's question also attracted the attention of other geniuses of the Xiao family. Xiao Qingyun, Xiao Junlin, and others also raised this issue after Xiao Tianyun. Let's go over the whole story again. I found that many of these things were too coincidental. Xiao Xian sighed slightly. Yes, there are people behind all this. Everyone was surprised when they heard this. How can this be? Who is behind all this? Sun Wukong is already so powerful. How powerful is a strong man who can control all this? Could it be Tathagata? Although he looks like a Buddha, the things he does are disgusting. Yes, especially the moment when Sun Wukong made a bet with him. Everyone immediately stood up for Sun Wukong. Xiao Xian shook his head. The manipulator behind this is not a person, but a force. From the moment it was thrown down from the upper world by that great power, it has already fallen into their calculations. Even the Bodhi patriarch who traveled across mountains and rivers to study under him and taught him the 72 transformations. He was also one of the people who planned all of this, or in other words, all living beings in the entire fairy world were involved. When everyone heard this, they couldn't help but gasp. He even began to sympathize with Sun Wukong's plight. When he was just a spiritual stone and had not yet developed his spiritual wisdom, it has already been manipulated. Even if he learns the power of Tongtian, he will not be able to escape his life of being controlled in the end. How sad it is to not be able to control your own life. Xiao Xian saw everyone's expressions and pointed at the scene. Watch it again, but this time you need to carefully observe everyone's expressions and demeanor. Then the scene in front of him instantly turned into a burst of white mist. After the white mist dissipated, everyone returned to the scene at the beginning. At this moment, Sun Wukong was chatting and laughing with the 7 demon kings, changing cups and cups. Outside the water curtain cave in Huiguo Mountain, the flag of the Monkey King is flying. This time I was reminded by Xiao Xian. Everyone carefully watched the expressions and demeanor of the 6 demon kings. Sure enough, they discovered something was wrong. Look at the Horned Demon King, not only his eyes are clear, but he even shows disdain and ridicule. Yes, the same goes for the Dragon Horned Demon King next to you. The other demon kings also have a look of disdain in their eyes. Their expressions were like they knew it all. The crowd's horrified voices also contained a hint of anger. I don't know if he is angry about what happened to Sun Wukong. Still angry at the powerful ones who manipulated all this. At this time, Xiao Xian's voice came again. The Bull Demon King is no less powerful than Sun Wukong, or even slightly better than him. The Dragon Prince of the West Sea, the illegitimate son of the Dragon King, has the power of the Sea God, Thunder God and Lightning Mother. Everyone was shocked again and again during Xiao Xian's explanation. Just a mount can already become such an existence. So how powerful is his master? There is also the Dragon Prince of the West Sea, who looks young and ignorant, but has the power of the Poseidon. Any one of them can suppress Sun Wukong. But they all chose to support him in proclaiming himself king, and even made a fuss in the sky. Soon, the scene came to a scene where Sun Wukong and Neza were fighting. When I watched it for the first time, I just felt that Sun Wukong had great magical powers. At this moment, everyone discovered the difference. Then Neza's cultivation level seems to be even more powerful than Sun Wukong. Look at the look in his eyes, there is a trace of pity. That's right, although Neza was ordered to capture Sun Wukong, it seems that this was not his original intention. His momentum was enough to capture Sun Wukong on the spot, but he hid his own strength. Have you noticed that Neza seems to feel the same way about what happened to Sun Wukong? When everyone was reminded of this, they immediately noticed this subtle change. It seems that even such a powerful power cannot change this shocking conspiracy. Xiao Xian's explanation voice came just right. Neza should have become a more powerful being, but unfortunately he is just like Sun Wukong. Being plotted by others, he became a general in heaven. If not, as a guardian boy under Nuwa. In the battle between King Zhou, it is possible to become a saint. But after that incident, it stopped there. The scene came to when Sun Wukong was recruited for the second time. At this time, Sun Wukong had been named the Monkey King and was an idle fairy in heaven. After he stole the peaches and elixir and came down to earth, he was captured by the Erlang god Yang Jian. At this time, everyone discovered that it was not just Erlang Shen who had a problem. Even all the gods in heaven have problems. The auras of these immortals are all stronger than Sun Wukong. Look at their expressions, they all look indifferent. Even if they crowned Sun Wukong as the Monkey King, no one said anything. It seems that this is how things should develop. From the moment Sun Wukong entered the Peach Garden, Jade Emperor and Taibei Jinxing showed expressions of being in control. Then a huge picture appeared in front of them all. Every move of Sun Wukong is clearly visible in the picture. And watch it all. Except for the Jade Emperor and a group of gods. There was also Tathagata Buddha who suppressed Sun Wukong, and even Guanyin Bodhisattva was beside him. Later, Sun Wukong escaped from the mortal world because of stealing the flat peach elixir. Then he was taken to heaven, tortured, and then sent to the alchemy furnace. Everything is under their control. After Sun Wukong was crushed under the Five Elements mountain, the Jade Emperor looked at Tathagata Buddha standing aside. Everything is on track. Tathagata Buddha recited the Buddha's name, what I, the Western Buddhism, have promised will naturally be fulfilled. So good. Then Xiao Xian explained the identity of the Jade Emperor to everyone. The great Emperor Haoshan is also the Jade Emperor inside, and he is also the boy who has the power to mend the sky. Everyone suddenly sighed. Just that boy with the power to mend the sky can become the Jade Emperor of heaven. Everyone has not yet recovered from the power of Tathagata Buddha. Once again, he was horrified by the power of this mending heaven master. Then the scene in front of us came to when Erlang god Yang Jian captured Sun Wukong. This time everyone discovered that there was a dog named Xiao Tian Dog beside Erlang Shen. And in the scene where the Erlang god Yang Jian and Sun Wukong are fighting, everyone discovered the difference again. You see, Sun Wukong has used several magical powers, but this Erlang Shen is still able to do it with ease. Not only that, Sun Wukong's every move seems to be predictable in his eyes. Besides, he is obviously giving in to Sun Wukong. No, rather than letting it go, it's better to stimulate the medicinal properties of the elixir and flat peach in Sun Wukong's body. Everyone was lost in thought at this time. Even Xiao Xian didn't speak. He remembered that after Sun Wukong became a Buddha, he fought against the Erlang god Yang Jian many times. They all ended in failure. At that time, his combat power was already 100 times what it is today. It can be seen how powerful Erlang Shen Yang Jian is. Then Tai's Hanglejun knocked Sun Wukong unconscious with a diamond bracelet. After pressing down on the heavenly court, slashing with swords, and striking with lightning were all useless. Sun Wukong was thrown into the 8 trigrams alchemy furnace of Tai's Hanglejun. After 7 and 49 days of experience, Sun Wukong also developed a pair of fiery eyes. However, they are such a pair of eyes that are very powerful in everyone's eyes. But Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh. Although the fiery eyes and golden eyes are powerful, they are far inferior to 1/10,000th of those of these immortals. Once you have cultivated to their level, you can know the true state of all things in the world even without piercing eyes. But Sun Wukong lost his natural consciousness because of these blazing eyes. This divine consciousness is also something that all the immortals are afraid of. At this time, Sun Wukong burst out of the furnace, covering his face with his hands, tears streaming down his face. As he kicked open the Bagua furnace, he walked away. Tai's Hanglejun and his 2 boys also breathed a sigh of relief. The panic from before was completely gone. I saw Tai's Hanglejun looking at Sun Wukong's leaving figure and sighing, "It's done." Only then did everyone suddenly realize. I also understand why Xiao Xian sighed when he talked about the fiery eyes and golden eyes. That innate spiritual consciousness was actually something that these immortals needed to solve. And at this time, when everyone met Tai's Hanglejun's gaze, they felt that he was not looking at Sun Wukong's leaving figure. On the contrary, there is a kind. Watching them feel. Everyone was suddenly shocked. I just feel like my consciousness is going to explode. When they looked at Tai's Hanglejun again, I couldn't help but gasp. He seemed to have seen them. But how is this possible? There are countless galactic years between them. What's more, this is still a virtual scene. How could he see himself? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 94. Everyone kept denying the thoughts in their hearts. But Tai's Hanglejun's see-through eyes were telling them. This is real. How is this possible? Those piercing eyes actually make me feel a little scary. There are countless galactic years between us, how can he see us? This look makes me feel like I have nothing to hide. However, their denials became reality. Tai's Hanglejun not only saw them. You can also communicate with them. The people from the heavens are coming. This sound made everyone in the Xiao family feel like their hearts were exploding. Disbelief and unacceptable emotions burst out from their eyes. How is this possible? He can actually see us. Oh my God! What kind of existence is this? It's just an illusion, and it can know our existence. What's more, we are not in the same time period yet. For a while, everyone in the Xiao family was panicked. Xiao Tianyun was also shocked. Uncle Xian, he felt that he had no place to hide in front of such a powerful person. Xiao Xian's expression at this moment was also extremely solemn. This is not a plot he designed. But why the plot changed suddenly, he still doesn't know the reason. At the same time, Tai's Hanglejun opposite was also watching them. I even felt a familiar aura on them. Until he laid his eyes on Xiao Xian. But he found that he could not deduce the origin of this person. Even his presence is invisible. This breath feels so familiar. I wonder which Taoist friend it is. Tai's Hanglejun's words suddenly shocked everyone in the Xiao family. Even this powerful power. There was no way to sense Xiao Xian's existence. That. Everyone's eyes turned to Xiao Xian in unison. So how powerful was his ability at that time? He could even tell that Sun Wukong was being manipulated by someone else. In that history, what kind of identity does it play? Xiao Xian did not answer Tai's Hanglejun's question. Under the uncertain factors, he didn't want to have anything to do with such an existence. There are too many uncontrollable factors here. As the screen changes, everyone's attention was also diverted. It was also at this time that Xiao Xian spoke up again. This is Tai's Hanglejun, the senior brother who has the power to mend the sky. What you see now is just a shadow of him. As Xiao Xian's explanation voice came, everyone also had a little bit of understanding of this great Mian Tian. But just when they wanted to continue discussing things about Tai's Hanglejun, the figure of Tai's Hanglejun had already disappeared in their hearts. Even if they still have everything related to him in their minds. But he couldn't say even a single word related to him. This shocked everyone. At the same time, he also admired Xiao Xian even more. Not even the great powers of that period could sense his existence. He even called him a Taoist friend. How powerful must such strength be? Xiao Junlin also thought of what happened before at this moment. Especially the series of things related to my sister. On the surface, he seemed to be making things difficult for her. In fact, they are all facing themselves. After thinking about it like this, Xiao Junlin suddenly remembered the Tiandao ranking. He smiled helplessly in his heart. I'm afraid that besides being unable to hear my voice, he already knows my identity. Otherwise, why would the Xiao family not thoroughly investigate Emperor Murongyi, who appeared inexplicably on the Tiandao ranking? Not only these, Xiao Xian also knew the techniques he practiced. When Xiao Junlin sighed at Xiao Xian's strength, he couldn't help but complain in his heart. As expected of Lao Yinbai, he can still pretend to be nonchalant even after knowing my identity. As the reincarnated empress, Xiao Qingyun completely let go of her guard against Xiao Xian at this moment. Since the other party is a powerful person from that era, then her identity and the supreme divine court where she practices. In the eyes of the other party, it is nothing more than a child and her toys. It was the jade seal he gave to himself. As the level of cultivation increases, the functions become more and more numerous. She could even cooperate with the supreme divine court, which had an immeasurable impact on her practice. But she was still guarding against the other party. It's really ridiculous. As the picture changes, Sun Wukong has been fighting with the immortal official for a long time. But it is not difficult to see that the immortal official is giving way to Sun Wukong. Not only that, even the immortal officials and even Xianyi who were watching around looked indifferent. Just an incarnation of an immortal official is so powerful, let alone other people. If all this hadn't been planned a long time ago, I'm afraid anyone in the heaven could suppress Sun Wukong. Also at this time, the Jade Emperor who was hiding under the table suddenly shouted, "Quick! Get people to go to the Tathagata Buddha in the west." If not for starting to know the true identity of the Jade Emperor, they were all impressed by the timid Jade Emperor in front of them. Such acting skills are truly outstanding. Emperor Haoshan is the first supreme god. He represents heaven and is not restricted. It is also the incarnation of heaven and the founding spirit of all things in the world. Even Tathagata Buddha is under him. Emperor Haoshan is not only the master of ancestor Hongjun, but also the founding Yuanling. You can even order Yuanqi Tianzun to become a god. His identity is definitely the most mysterious. What you see now is just a ray of his phantom clone. Everyone gasped. It is difficult for them to imagine the Jade Emperor hiding under the table at this moment. It could be such a powerful power. Because he looked so cowardly. Subsequently, Tathagata Buddha then appeared in heaven. At the same time that Sun Wukong was suppressed under the Five Elements mountain, Tathagata Buddha bowed to the Jade Emperor and then left. At this time, the Jade Emperor no longer looked as timid as before. At this moment, his whole body burst out with the majesty of a giant. Even Tathagata Buddha showed a trace of fear when he saw the Jade Emperor like this. Subsequently, Xiao Xian waved his hand. I saw the heavenly court originally filled with immortals and heavenly soldiers and generals. It has now become deserted. Even so, the spiritual energy inside is very rich. The flower and fruit mountain in the lower realm has also become withered. The monkeys and grandchildren have long since disappeared, and countless moss has grown inside. Even the five elements mountain has been moved away. But the energy of the five elements contained in it is extremely rich. Then there is the place where Erlang God Yang Jian and Sun Wukong fight. It looks ordinary on the surface, but everyone knows it. This contains very important opportunities. If it weren't for the rich aura coming from the air. There is also the aura of heaven that carries endless pressure. They really want to think that they are still in an illusion. Look at all this. Everyone is looking forward to the next moment of finding opportunities. This place is divided into two worlds, heaven and earth, but you can only choose one to go to. Just choose in your heart which side you want to go to, and you will appear there. Xiao Xian's words made everyone extremely excited. Although you can only choose one of them. But anywhere here can give them unimaginable opportunities. After hearing Xiao Xian's words, everyone made their choice immediately. Then the figures split into two parts, heading towards the heaven and the human world respectively. Those who went to heaven felt that the cultivation level of the immortals in heaven was unfathomable. If you can get a bit of their inheritance, it will be of great help to your own improvement. When choosing the part of the human world, I thought of being under the Huiguo mountain and the Five Elements mountain. Looking for even a trace of the inheritance of Sun Wukong causing havoc in the sky. Watching all the geniuses of the Xiao family go to where they want to go. Xiao Xian's expression gradually became serious. Although there are hundreds of Xiao family geniuses. But the secret search also takes a certain amount of time. Even if they gather in one place, they may not be able to search them all. What's more, it is divided into two places, heaven and earth. Thinking back to Tai's Hanglejun's words. Xiao Xian pursed his lips tightly. Tai's Hanglejun is just an incarnation that he redeemed with exchange points. He was actually able to see through time and space and discover the existence of the Xiao family's geniuses. You can even feel his presence. At the same time, he also gained a new understanding of the system. Maybe within its scope. It also includes prehistoric people, saints, heavenly Dao Hongjun, and even Pangu. Or, even the way of heaven is within its scope. Suddenly I thought of the legendary world. Xiao Xian's heart skipped a beat. It seems that only by reaching that state can we see the full picture of the system. From the moment Xiao Yanyao saw the incarnation of Tai's Hanglejun, he became extremely calm, and even the exclusive talk about the emperor's physique seemed to have disappeared. Walking through the Yutai pavilion in heaven, Xiao Yanyao could feel the changes in himself. Just walking in the heaven, his body is constantly absorbing spiritual energy. Finally he came to the Tushita palace of Tai's Hanglejun. There are no Tai's Hanglejun and two boys here. Even after countless galactic years. The spiritual energy here is extremely abundant. Even the smell of the elixir inside has not dissipated. Just for a moment. Xiao Yanyao felt a breakthrough in his cultivation. Then he came to the place where Tai's Hanglejun placed the Bagua furnace. He remembered that it was here that Sun Wukong was refined by the true fire of Samadhi for 77-49 days. Maybe you can find some inheritance and insights about him here. As expected. There is a hidden grid on the ground where the Bagua furnace is placed. Xiao Yanyao seemed to have telepathy. Open this hidden compartment. A spear and a shield suddenly appeared inside. With just one glance, Xiao Yanyao felt the terrifying aura coming from the spear and shield. Holding his hands tightly, a powerful feeling entered directly into his consciousness. Then he heard Tai's Hanglejun's words and his ethereal figure. This is made from the leftover materials left over from when the Poseidon needle was made. It is a growth level magic weapon that can only be obtained by those who are destined to have it. It contains supreme cultivation techniques. As Tai's Hanglajun's voice disappeared, a huge amount of energy poured into his consciousness. This power alone was enough to shock Xiao Yanyao. Not to mention seeing the training content above. This book on cultivation techniques, even if combined with hundreds of books in the past, would not be as good as 1,000th of it. Looking at the spear and shield in his hand, Xiao Yanyao once again showed a proud and erect expression. With the blessing of the divine weapon, it will be easier for me to journey through the eternal galaxy and become an immortal king. Think so? Xiao Yanyao began to refine these two magic weapons. After all, it was refined by Tai's Hanglajun, and things of this era can produce spiritual wisdom. If they generate intelligence, transform into a human form and run away, with his ability. But it takes a lot of effort to conquer them. Xiao Xian nodded with satisfaction when he saw this. Both of these things are growth-level magic weapons, containing supreme power. This time, the secret opportunity was revealed randomly. To find them, you must have certain opportunities and blessings. It is rare for Xiao Yanyao to not be greedy. At the same time, Xiao Jiangxin also came to Ling Xiao Palace. Among the geniuses of the Xiao family, he was also the first to arrive here. Xiao Jiangxin walked around the Ling Xiao Palace. We went straight to the place where Sun Wukong and the immortal official fought. The immortal official was able to fight Sun Wukong with just a ray of incarnation. You must have realized something here. More importantly, it was the immortal official's sword moves that attracted him. With just a long sword, he can be on par with Sun Wukong. You must know that Sun Wukong at that time not only had the catalyzed flat peach and elixir in his body. There is also the Dingai Shen needle as a weapon, coupled with his own cultivation level. It can be said that it has reached an extremely terrifying peak state. So as soon as I arrived at Ling Xiao Palace, Xiao Jiangxin began to feel the changes here carefully. At some point, his divine sword appeared in his hand. Also at this time, Xiao Jiangxin felt a powerful sword power. The power of the sword made his heart explode. Immediately afterwards, he then saw the shadow of the immortal official who was fighting Sun Wukong, Wang Lingguan, appearing in front of him. In his hand was the sword that he had fought against Sun Wukong. Relying on the feeling between the sword cultivator and the sword, Xiao Jiangxin jumped up the mountain. Fight with that Wang Lingguan. Every move carries a monstrous sword power. When the other geniuses of the Xiao family arrived at the scene, they saw the battle between Xiao Jiangxin and the immortal official. Those ethereal yet substantial sword moves. They had to sigh. But they also knew that this was the opportunity Xiao Jiangxin got this time. Therefore, there was a tacit agreement not to get close to the surrounding area. Some even tried to get closer to the Jade Emperor's throne, which was emitting golden light and covered by a golden shield. But since I didn't have the chance to do it, I had no choice but to give up. Except for the geniuses around here. More people went to Pantao Yuan and Yaokai Wonderland. They think they might be able to get more opportunities there. At the same time, at the entrance of Nantianmen, a beautiful figure appeared in front of everyone. The beautiful shadow gradually moved towards the golden gleaming Jade Emperor's throne. Even if it has failed several times, Xiao Qingyun was not willing to give up. Because she could feel that on the throne of the Jade Emperor, there were more powerful techniques than the Supreme Divine Court. At this time, Xiao Qingyun's consciousness suddenly exploded. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 95. At this moment, she only felt that her mind was clear and clear, but it was also mixed with the breath of the long river of time and space. Next moment, a vague figure appeared in her consciousness. Just a figure can make her feel the domineering aura that dominates the world. I saw that figure standing with his hands behind his back, looking extremely majestic. The whole body exudes the unique aura of an emperor that cannot be disobeyed. Around him, there are countless long rivers of chaos flowing. Within those long rivers of chaos, there are countless rivers of time and space. Behind this figure, small worlds are formed. The power of time and space revealed in it was something that even the peak of her previous life would not dare to approach. It turns out that the long river of time and space is just a small part of the long river of chaos. But it is this small part that gathers into countless small worlds. Even though she had already traveled through all the heavens and worlds in her previous life. At this moment, in this long flow, it suddenly seemed extremely small. Watch this scene. Xiao Qingyun felt like his heart was about to burst. Also at this time, that figure seemed to feel something. Turn around slowly. Just a glance. Xiao Qingyun felt like his soul was exploding. She was certain that the person in front of her was definitely not Emperor Yu. He not only gives people a sense of majesty. There is also an ability that is undeniable. Coupled with the royal aura on his body, Xiao Qingyun is almost certain. The person in front of me. It's Emperor Haoshan. The other party looked at her. This glance actually made Xiao Qingyun feel like he was in the long flow of time and space, traveling through the years. Yes, I am Emperor Haoshan, the Lord of Heaven. The majestic voice of Emperor Haoshan kept echoing in Xiao Qingyun's mind. The reincarnated Empress, practicing in the Supreme Divine Court, has the blessing of the National Jade Seal, which is good. The other party just took one look and understood everything about her origins. Xiao Qingyun knew that in front of such a powerful person, I have no secrets. The moment Emperor Haoshan spoke, the overwhelming feeling in Xiao Qingyun's heart also disappeared instantly. I was originally a rough stone of chaos, but was shaped by my master's enlightenment and became his servant boy. Also with me was Yao Ji from Yaokai. Later, in the ancient times, I watched the period when the ferocious beasts were destroyed. I also watched the process of the three clans of Dragon, Phoenix, and Unicorn working hard until they were destroyed and the river was stained with blood. I also witnessed with my own eyes my master's narrow escape from death in the battle between Tao and demons, and he attained the Tao of Hunyuan. In the Lich Tribulation, the two shocking forces of the Witch Clan and the Demon Clan. The fight for the fate of the ancient world was so fierce that the world was shattered and the ancient world was shattered, but both sides suffered losses. It was also at this time that the Demon Court was born, but due to the war between the two Lich clans, I was appointed by my master as the second Jade Emperor, in order to bring heaven to the pinnacle of Demon Court. I continued to develop, but found that it was just useless work. When it comes to this, Emperor Haoshan's complexion turned livid. Even the momentum around him has changed. Xiao Qingyun didn't know how to describe this scene. What kind of thing can make a powerful man of the founding Yuanling's level show such an expression? After the Lich measured the calamity, the 6 saints were born. They were supposed to be the right-hand assistants to assist the Emperor of Heaven in controlling the wilderness. But with the rise of Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, they have become the existence that suppresses me. 3 religions exist. People in the world only know the 3 religions but don't know about heaven. They are existences like the Antarctic immortal. You dare to despise the power of heaven and run rampant in heaven. Even if I conquer many times, it will be useless. Even a human emperor has a higher status than me. Just because there is a saint standing behind him. Saints who have survived since ancient times. When Emperor Haoshan said this, he became extremely excited. Especially when he talked about the saint, there was anger between his brows. Even Xiao Qingyun, who had been separated for countless galactic years, could feel it. But Xiao Qingyun knew the saint he spoke of. He is definitely not on the same level as the saint he knows. Otherwise, with a strong man like Emperor Haoshan, he is so powerful. How can there be a time when there is nothing to do? As Emperor Haoshen's mood calmed down, his voice came through again. I thought that as long as I proved my strength, I could change the status quo. However, everything is in vain. With the suppression of the 6 saints in heaven, no one from the 3 religions dares to act wildly in heaven. Emperor Haoshen's words revealed deep helplessness. Xiao Qingyun even felt the same way. But she was also confused. Why didn't Emperor Haoshen go to the powerful person who enlightened him? With such great power, the 6 saints would not dare to show off their power like this. It seemed that he had seen through Xiao Qingyun's inner thoughts. Emperor Haoshen smiled bitterly, why haven't I looked for it before? The result is that the 6 saints intensified their suppression during the war between humans and gods. In order to balance the order of the human world, the heavenly court started to confer gods. Who would have thought that this would be the beginning of another conspiracy? In the battle of the conferred gods, not only were the conferred gods' court divided, but there were also 4 more emperors, 4 emperors who could equal my strength. Not only that, the gods on the list of gods have also taken refuge with the other 4 emperors. Coupled with the suppression of the 6 saints, I became completely alone. Xiao Qingyun finally understood at this moment. Where did Emperor Haoshen's anger come from? I wanted to focus on doing a good job in my career. But he was blocked by a stronger power. Not only that, but his strength was completely divided. At this time, there was a rumbling sound in Xiao Qingyun's ears. This pressure, even after countless galactic years, it can also make Xiao Qingyun feel the explosion of his soul. If you are in it, I'm afraid it has already become a blood mist. All these pressures were heading towards Emperor Haoshen. However, Emperor Haoshen felt this pressure. He showed a sarcastic smile, with what you are now, you still want to suppress me? Get out. I saw him wave his hand. The 6 invisible pressures disappeared instantly. Urgent. Emperor Haoshen looked at Xiao Qingyun. As the reincarnated empress, you practice the emperor's skills like the supreme divine court. I am also destined to have you, so today I will teach you my self-created kung fu. This is a unique technique that I created after countless galactic years. When talking about this technique, Emperor Haoshen rarely showed a smile on his face. This technique cannot be defeated even by the 6 saints. For this reason, the 6 saints ignored their master's pressure and they also want to prevent me from cultivating it to the state of Dzogchen, just because this technique. It allows me to realize Hunyuan by myself without relying on Hongmeng purple chi and heavenly luck. How could the 6 saints, who are bandits, allow someone who can stand alongside them to appear? Speaking of this, Emperor Haoshen smiled bitterly again. So, even this emperor has not practiced to the last step. Since you are destined to obtain this skill, just practice hard, and if you can break through to the great perfection, even the long flow of chaos will not be able to block your path. Perhaps, we can also see the master who disappeared due to the calamity. After saying that, the figure of Emperor Haoshen disappeared from sight. But his voice still echoed in my mind. If I have a chance to see Yaoji, wait until I say sorry to her. As the owner of Yaokai, she is also the Queen Mother of the West, and she is the Supreme Mistress of Heaven. But because of me, I have endured hardship for so many years without even a single complaint. If you meet such a person, I hope you will not have any regrets. What kind of existence is Yaoji, the owner of Yaokai, who can make Emperor Haoshen feel guilty? What kind of woman can remain unknown behind a man's back? Even Xiao Qingyun, as the reincarnated empress, couldn't help crying for her. Subsequently, Xiao Qingyun knelt on the ground and gave a disciple salute to Emperor Haoshen. Thank you, Master, for your teachings. I will definitely remember them in my heart. The moment she looked up, it seemed that Emperor Haoshen had a look of relief on his face. This was also the 3rd expression he showed after mentioning the 6 saints and Yaoji. I thought that after Emperor Haoshen disappeared, everything would come to an end. But the last words left by Emperor Haoshan. But it made Xiao Qingyun's soul feel like it was exploding. He remembered that when I said hello to him, he said that I was still waiting for him at the place where he first saw me. Xiao Qingyun felt extremely shocked. Even Emperor Haoshan is in awe of him. What kind of person should this be? But Emperor Haoshan just asked her to tell him. Xiao Qingyun really couldn't figure out what kind of power she had around her. Even. Think of this. Xiao Qingyun suddenly became excited. Except for the head of the family, Xiao Xian. There is no one around her who can be involved in this matter. At the same time, Xiao Qingyun was also more curious about Xiao Xian's identity. What kind of existence he was and what kind of identity he played during that period. The first thing that can be eliminated is the six saints. It can also be judged from the tone of Emperor Haoshan. Xiao Xian may be a more powerful being than the six saints. Is it possible? It was the powerful one who enlightened him. Think of this. Xiao Qingyun felt extremely shocked. But that great power has long since disappeared in immeasurable calamities. Is it possible that Xiao Xian is his reincarnation? If this is the case, then all this can be explained. As Emperor Haoshan disappeared in her divine sea, Xiao Qingyun also regained consciousness. On the Jade Emperor's throne, there is still a trace of Emperor Haoshan's breath. It's better to quickly refine Master's aura and that skill. As for the rest, she believes it. As long as your cultivation realm reaches a certain level, you will definitely be able to discover them all, including Xiao Xian's true identity. Everyone saw that Xiao Qingyun not only sat on the Jade Emperor's throne. I also started practicing on it. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. Sure enough, opportunities still come to those who are destined. Otherwise, they came so long before Xiao Qingyun, but they couldn't even get close to the Jade Emperor's throne. But come to think of it, as the king of Nanming, Xiao Qingyun ranked first in the Tiandao ranking. His strength is also the most powerful among the Xiao family's geniuses. She is naturally the most qualified to obtain the throne of the Jade Emperor. The geniuses of the Xiao family saw that Xiao Qingyun had such an opportunity. I didn't feel jealous or dissatisfied. On the contrary, she felt that this was what she deserved. With the continuous search around, everyone also had their own gains. Even though it was just elixir and wine, it was not even as good as 1/10,000th of Xiao Qingyun's. But to them, they are already the supreme treasure. However, Xiao Xian was a little helpless. This time the secret realm was beyond his expectation. First, Tai's Hanglejun discovered their existence after countless galactic years. Now he doesn't even know what happened to Xiao Qingyun. This is still with the blessing of Chaos pupils. This is unprecedented. But he didn't dwell on it. Instead, he looked at the other geniuses. He is the protagonist with the added power of the system. Are you still afraid that something will happen that you cannot control? At this moment, Jamal Xiao came to Yaokai Wonderland and obtained Yaokai gold liquid from it. This is a huge opportunity. You must know that this Yaokai gold liquid was a treasure that everyone robbed even in the prehistoric era. Although Xiao Jinjian obtained this pot of Yaokai gold liquid, there is only a trace of energy contained in it. But it was enough for him to catch up with the other geniuses of the Xiao family. Jamal Xiao naturally also knew that this Yaokai gold liquid was extraordinary. Then he jumped into the golden liquid of Yaokai and began to improve his qualifications. Xiao Junlin on the other side was also there without anyone noticing. We arrived at the residence of the great sage Kishan. Just as he expected. Everyone went to places like Nantianmen, Yaokai, Pantao Yuan, and Lingxiao Hall. But as the residence of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, how could there be no inheritance left behind? Therefore, Xiao Junlin adhered to Go's essence and began to search the Monkey King's mansion. No, search for it? It's just that wherever he went, he almost always had his hair plucked out by geese, leaving no trace of his armor behind. Even Xiao Xian couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth after seeing it. This guy has really learned a technique that suits him. As expected, Xiao Junlin was on the bed where Sun Wukong slept. Found him and left him to incarnate. Let me tell you, as the place where the Monkey King slept, how could it not have any inheritance at all? Doesn't this allow me to find my own incarnation? This guy is comparable to the 3 hairs of Sun Wukong. It's a treasure that can create another version of me. Now I want to see it. Who else dares to gossip in front of this heavenly lord? In the eyes of the Xiao family's genius, Xiao Junlin was qualified to enter the secret realm because he was attracted by Xiao Xian. Otherwise, why would other geniuses have to go through the competition on the dragon and tiger list? But he is an exception. And he is also a sideline. Even the qualifications are average. Even his sister Xiao Qingge relied on her true ability to enter the secret realm. Therefore, Xiao Junlin was often commented behind his back by other geniuses and disciples of the Xiao family. Thinking of this, Xiao Junlin was also unambiguous. He sat directly on Sun Wukong's bed and started practicing. Even Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh when he saw his opportunity. I entered the secret realm twice, and the opportunities were good both times. It all came quite easily. It seems that the Goshen Dao has really been brought to its extreme in some aspects. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian couldn't help laughing and shook his head. Then, he turned his attention to other geniuses. But this time he looked at the geniuses in the world. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 96. At this time, Xiao Tianyun was walking in the Huaguo mountain. From the moment I heard that Sun Wukong was transformed from a colorful spiritual stone, he was eager to know everything about Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, a stone monkey transformed from a spiritual stone. But he can occupy an area of a cave and become the king. And he became sworn brothers with the 6 demon kings. Although in their eyes, Sun Wukong is just a clown. But he has the courage to challenge the world. He even calls himself the Monkey King. Go down to the East China Sea to borrow the Dingai divine needle, and enter the netherworld to destroy life and death. He went up to heaven to steal the elixir of flat peach and cause turmoil in heaven. Even if he was pinned down by Tathagata Buddha under the 5 Elements mountain, he would not give in to fate. Such Sun Wukong. Even if everything he does is just a game of chess for others. But in Xiao Tianyun's eyes, Sun Wukong is a powerful man who can suppress all directions and is even feared by the Emperor of Heaven. He is a veritable Monkey King. Unconsciously, Xiao Tianyun came to the center of Shuoliandong. Looking around, he seemed to see the scene of the former majestic Ling Ling leading his monkeys and grandchildren to drink and eat elixirs. Then he came to the top of Huaguo Mountain. Here, it is a place where colorful spiritual stones are transformed. Even though countless galactic years have passed, there is still a hint of rich flavor on it. Closing his eyes, Xiao Tianyun could feel that this was where Sun Wukong was born. Fingers rubbed over it. Without further ado, I sat cross-legged on the colorful spiritual stone where Sun Wukong was born and began to comprehend. The moment he sat down, all the spiritual energy around him converged on Xiao Tianyun. Wisps of small air currents gradually formed, entrenching themselves around Xiao Tianyun. Even Xiao Xian was attracted by this vision. At this time, a figure appeared in Xiao Tianyun's mind. That figure was as huge as the sky and the earth. The momentum is majestic, as if it contains endless power. This figure was huge and had the shape of a monkey. But Xiao Tianyun can be sure that this is not Sun Wukong. So who is he? Even as powerful as Sun Wukong, he still looks too small in front of him. Compare the two. Sun Wukong is like his child. What surprised him even more was another figure that was almost invisible. And the aura exuded by that figure was enough to open up the world. It's like being the pioneer of heaven and earth. At this time, Xiao Tianyun's body began to feel uncomfortable. He didn't even notice the changes happening around him. In his cross-legged position, a trace of blood poured into his body, continuously strengthening his physical qualifications. Xiao Xian's heart moved, and he quickly checked with his eyes of insight. Chaos Demon Ape, the controller of the law of power like Pangu, he majors in physical magical powers. He is naturally extremely powerful. But when Pangu created the world, he was split into four by the god's axe, and his blood flowed between heaven and earth. 4 monkeys were born, and a trace of their blood flowed into the colorful spiritual stones. Although there is only a trace of the power of the Chaos Demon Ape, it still contains tremendous opportunities. Xiao Xian was also shocked when he found out the news. I thought Xiao Qingyun's opportunity was already the best. But I never thought that I couldn't even reach 1,000th of Xiao Tianyun's level. Could this kid be the son of destiny? Although the Chaos Demon Ape was split into 4 by Pangu with the god-opening axe, but his bloodline gave birth to the 4 monkeys. Even if Xiao Tianyun only got a trace of Chaos Demon Ape bloodline at this moment, it will also be of great help to his future practice. Even all the opportunities in heaven combined are not as good as the good fortune brought by this trace of blood. The Chaos Demon Ape has the same status as Sanking and Pangu Father God. Emperor Haoshan and Tathagata Buddha are simply not enough in front of him. At this time, Xiao Tianyun's combat power was more than 100 times stronger, and even his cultivation level was constantly improving. Xiao Tianyun, who was immersed in enlightenment, felt nothing but his own discomfort. It was the battle scene between the two figures in my mind. Boom! When the two collided, even the void barrier shattered. The figure of the demon ape gradually became clearer. Under the full blow of the demon ape, the sky and the earth collapsed, and the mountains and rivers were shattered. As expected of the Chaos Demon Ape, this move is quite powerful even when the demon ape is alive. If you continue to grow, even I will have to be careful. I saw the strong man waving the axe in his hand. At that moment, the void flowed, and the world was in chaos. Immediately afterwards, an axe light struck the demon ape's head. Instantly split the demon ape into a bloody mist. Under the influence of the power of law, the blood mist was directly swallowed. Some turned into a trace of blood and blended into the world. When the picture is about to disappear, Xiao Tianyun saw clearly the appearance of the strong man. I always feel that this breath is very familiar, even that strong man. It also gave him a sense of déjà vu. With a burst of light came. The stick that the strong man called the demon ape was deeply engraved in Xiao Tianyun's mind. In an instant, the appearance of the strong man with the power of law overlapped with the figure in his mind. That is Xiao Xian's natal dharma. Even the smell is exactly the same. Xiao Tianyun was extremely shocked at this moment. Uncle Xian, who are you? What role does it play in that world? Even a powerful man like the demon ape has no power to fight back in front of this dharma appearance. But Xiao Xian has him as his natal dharma sign. Xiao Tianyun felt extremely shocked inside. Starting from Tai's Hanglajun, Xiao Xian has become more and more mysterious. Until now, there is the demon ape and the strong man who looks exactly like Xiao Xian. The demon ape, which has the power to destroy heaven and earth, couldn't even catch the strong man's axe. But Xiao Xian has him as his natal dharma. What kind of inextricable relationship is there? Is Xiao Xian his reincarnation, or, his previous life was even more powerful than this great master? But he quickly dismissed the idea. If it is really so powerful, then who killed him? And what kind of existence can kill him who is considered invincible? The more he thought about it, Xiao Tianyuan felt that there were more and more mysteries in it. Finally he decided not to think about it anymore. Turn your mind to cultivation. Apart from realizing that the demon ape was alive, he did not receive any other substantial reward. But even if it is just like this, it already has terrifying power that reaches the heaven and the earth. Then he fell into practice. As he continued to comprehend the image of the magic ape stick in the world, Xiao Tianyuan also experienced tremendous changes. An aura capable of destroying heaven and earth gradually gathered in his body. Looking at the changes in Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Xian's eyes also fell elsewhere. At this time, Xiao Yan had arrived at the Flame Mountain. Huiguo Mountain, Five Elements Mountain, and Flame Mountain were originally supposed to be scattered in different places. But because Xiao Xian had limited exchange points, he gathered them all together. Even so, if the geniuses of the Xiao family want to be like the gods in heaven, it is also impossible to travel between them at any time. Even though they are extremely outstanding and powerful people in the vast world. But here, there is not only resistance from the heaven and earth barriers. There is also the suppression of the power of law and the power of heaven. Even talented people like Xiao Tianyuan and Xiao Qingyuan. It is also impossible to come and go freely in here. Not only that, even the speed of speed was suppressed. I want to get a chance here. Just rely on perseverance and patience to find it. Xiao Yan practices swallowing strange fires, and his goal is to swallow all the strange fires in the world. So we came directly to the Flame Mountain. When he first stepped into the Flame Mountain, he felt like he was in a sea of fire. Even the soul felt like it was being burned. It's just a few fire bricks dropped from the Bagua furnace, but their power is even more powerful than the dozens of different fires I fused. Xiao Yan approached inside step by step. When the fire bricks fell from the Tushita Palace, he noticed the specific location. Therefore, he headed directly towards the center of the Flame Mountain. In addition to his own Tao body, there are more than a dozen kinds of strange fires that have been swallowed up. Xiao Yan can say that he is the incarnation of fire. Therefore, I have a certain degree of confidence in entering the center of the Flame Mountain. However, he found that he had underestimated the few fire bricks dropped from Tushita Palace. After several attempts, Xiao Yan gave up. It can only be searched and comprehended on the periphery. As the time spent in the Flame Mountain increased, Xiao Yan's understanding of the artistic conception of fire became deeper and deeper. Gradually, even his body underwent great changes. Not only was the whole body red and hot, but it was even burning. This change was almost too much for Xiao Yan to bear. But he knows that if he survives here, the opportunities he will gain will be endless. That's when the seeds of Samadhi true fire were also born in Xiao Yan's body. The true fire of Samadhi is divided into fire in the eyes, fire in stones, and fire in the air. It is also called the top is the emperor's fire, the middle is the minister's fire, and the bottom is the people's fire. Samadhi true fire is also called Samadhi divine fire. If you want to extinguish it, you can only use Kinkan jade dew or sea water from all over the world. Although the seeds of Samadhi true fire are still in a very weak state at this moment. But Xiao Yan knew that even if it was just this faint spark of fire, it can also make him more comfortable on the road of devouring strange fire. Since the fire of Samadhi true fire can be born in my body, then I am confident that I can fuse you all into one. Achieve the true fire of Samadhi. By then, no one will be able to compare with me in understanding the fire. Xiao Yan then consolidated these 3 weak fire seeds. Then he headed towards the core of the Flame Mountain again. Even though he knew he couldn't get there. But even if he takes a step forward, what he realizes is incomparable to the outside world. At this time, Xiao Yan was like a burning man, walking forward in the flames. Even if this flame is enough to burn him, Xiao Yan is unwilling to give up. At the same time, he also admired Xiao Xian even more. I really don't know what kind of method the family master used to bring the flame mountain that existed countless galactic years ago. Move it in front of us, and you can even gain insights from it. But these are not my business right now. As long as I continue to improve my strength and have enough ability, even if the master wants to do something, I still have the ability to help him. Xiao Yan didn't stop practicing here until he had walked 1,000 meters. As soon as the other geniuses of the Xiao family arrived at the flame mountain, they were forced back by the power of the flames. But when they saw Xiao Yan, who was almost burned by the power of flames inside, then he knew why there was such a big gap between him and himself. People who are stronger than you work harder than you, and suffer hardships that you cannot bear. But since they can appear here, it proves that his strength is not bad. After the last experience in the secret realm, everyone understood it. If you want to obtain better resources, you have to keep moving forward and make efforts that others cannot imagine. Only by moving to the front can you get the top resources. Today's Xiao family has vast resources, and people have more opportunities to gain opportunities. Likewise, competition is greater. Relaxing a little bit makes a world of difference. It is almost impossible to reach the original position again. Are they talented? No, not only are they not strong, some of them are even just behind. But they were able to join the Xiao family's dragon and tiger rankings because of their efforts that other geniuses couldn't do. So when I saw Xiao Yan not afraid of the burning power of the flames, he still kept moving forward. These geniuses are also moving towards the flame mountain. Although there is no way to compare with Xiao Yan's opportunity. But the spiritual roots and spiritual fruits obtained here are for practitioners who practice the art of fire. It was also a huge opportunity. At the same time, the last legendary genius of the Xiao family also came to the foot of Five Elements Mountain. Xiao Zhangtian's physique and the mysterious coffin behind him. It attracted Xiao Xian's attention. Therefore, he also received special attention from Xiao Xian. Although Five Elements Mountain is the place where Sun Wukong was suppressed. But the geniuses of the Xiao family, including Xiao Tianyuan, none of them chose to come here. Because the chance of obtaining Sun Wukong's inheritance here is very slim. But Xiao Zhangtian felt that there was an opportunity to change his life here. When I first entered here, Xiao Zhangtian found a Five Elements fruit. After swallowing it, his cultivation realm directly broke through to the Dao realm. Even the mysterious coffin behind him has undergone subtle changes. Not only that, the 6-character mantra also appeared at this time. Xiao Zhangtian followed the prompts of the 6-character mantra and came to a mountain pass in Wuxing Mountain. Just at this time, a burst of light suddenly came from within the black coffin. Immediately afterwards, Xiao Zhangtian followed the instructions given to him by the black coffin, moving at the pass of Five Elements Mountain. Then, he stopped at a certain location and smashed the black coffin directly into it. Next moment, a monstrous black light rushed into the sky. Along with it, there is also the power of the 5 paths and 5 elements under the invisible mountain. These 5 powers of the 5 elements directly converged into Xiao Zhangtian's body. Xiao Zhangtian seemed to have already anticipated this change. Just sit cross-legged and start practicing. But Xiao Xian was not calm after seeing this scene. This black coffin can not only accurately find the exact location of the power of the 5 elements. It can also directly integrate the power of the 5 elements into Xiao Zhangtian's body, reducing his training time to a greater extent. People get opportunities randomly, but it would be better for you to just cheat. There is no excuse for you to cheat. Xiao Xian also smiled angrily. There really wasn't any genius given to him by the system. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 97. At this time, the 8 geniuses of the Xiao family have all obtained their own destiny. Even Xiao Xian had to sigh with emotion. The geniuses rewarded by the system, regardless of their qualifications, talents, or luck, are all excellent. Although the opportunities of other geniuses of the Xiao family are not as good as theirs. But they also obtain the best creation of their respective cultivation methods. Some are not even weaker than these legendary geniuses rewarded by the system. For example, Xiao Junlin's sister Xiao Qingge. During this experience in the secret realm, I obtained the Eye of Reincarnation from Erlang god Yang Jian. Although it does not have the magical power of Erlang Shen's third eye, it is still possible through acquired practice. It is possible to return to the ancestral heaven, or even transcend. In addition, the top 3 geniuses on the Xiao family's Genius Dragon list have also obtained 80% to 90% of the cultivation techniques inherited from other traditions. However, the time to experience the secret realm is only 1 month. If you give them a little more time, these geniuses will not only break through themselves, but also occupy a place on the genius list. A month passed quickly. As Xiao Xian's voice reached the ears of all the geniuses and several elders. Everyone also knows that there is only 1 day left in this secret search trip. Therefore, they also cherish the remaining time more. It wasn't until the last day that everyone slowly woke up from their practice. Looking at the Sendai Pavilion in front of me, even though it is somewhat in ruins. Let them remember it endlessly. At the same time, the 8 geniuses gradually woke up from their cultivation. With this spear and shield, I, Xiao Yanyao, will be on my way to the eternal galaxy and become the immortal king more smoothly. In the long course of reincarnation, my name will also become a symbol of an era. Xiao Yanyao looked at the spear and shield in his hand, and the emperor's physique once again returned to its previous domineering appearance. During this month of cultivation into Shita Palace, his cultivation realm also broke through to the 3rd level. Xiao Jiangxin also acquired invincible swordsmanship and endless cultivation techniques during this experience. I saw him slowly opening his eyes, and a terrifying sword force burst out from his eyes. The body exudes the terrifying aura of the secret of the Dzogchen sword. Break through the restrictions instantly. Breaking through to the realm of swordsmanship, at this moment he reached the point where man and sword truly become one. It can be said that with one sword, mountains and rivers are broken. Even when facing Xiao Xian, competing with sword moves alone, he also has some chances of winning. At this moment, his whole body was exuding sword energy that could destroy the world. Looking at the shadow of Wang Lingguan in front of him, Xiao Jiangxin bowed deeply. Thank you, teacher, for your guidance this month. Kenshin is very grateful. This month, Wang Lingguan not only gave instructions on his sword moves, it also reminded him of his understanding of the way of the sword. Coupled with his sword skills and making up for his shortcomings, his sword moves at this time, it can be said to be impeccable. Even Xiao Xian couldn't take him down with sword moves. The shadow of Wang Lingguan on the opposite side also showed a happy smile when he saw this scene. Then gradually disappeared into the sky. As the incarnation of obsession from countless galactic years ago. At this moment, it can be regarded as an inheritance for myself. Made a happy ending. Xiao Qingyun on the other side also gradually opened his eyes. A majesty belonging to the emperor burst out from her body. Wherever his eyes passed, no one dared to look at him. The first level of cultivation of Emperor Haoshan's scripture was successful. After practicing the holy scripture of Emperor Haoshan, even the Supreme Court can only be used as an auxiliary skill. Not only that, she even felt that the golden dragon in her body was getting bigger and bigger. Everyone in the Xiao family saw the power of the emperor erupting from Xiao Qingyun. Everyone was shocked when they saw the aura of the kendo field surrounding Xiao Jiangxin. These 2 people are worthy of being the devil-level geniuses of the Xiao family. This time in the secret search, they have become stronger. At the same time, in the Yaokai, Jamal Xiao was slowly waking up. After being baptized by Yaokai golden liquid, his body exudes golden light. This not only forged his physical body, but also increased the power of thunder in his body. A majestic momentum burst out from him. This time, the Yaokai gold liquid has not only eliminated the slightest gap between me and Xiao Jiangxin. Even my physique has been forged to perfection. But I can't slack off easily. I have to continue to work hard to practice in order to be on par with them, or even surpass them. The gold liquid in Yaokai that originally emitted golden light has turned into a pool of ordinary water. If he can stay here for a longer time, he can get a new pot of Yaokai gold liquid. Unfortunately. Thinking of this, Jamal Xiao shook his head regretfully. In the Monkey King's mansion, Xiao Junlin took out his external incarnation. After blowing on the side, a young man in his 30s appeared. That was his previous incarnation. It was also this incarnation that appeared in previous training missions. He has always protected Xiao Kinga. Xiao Junlin observed it carefully and took another breath. I saw another person who looked exactly like him appearing next to him. Even Xiao Junlin himself had a hard time distinguishing the aura in his movements. But this is all without being serious. Although this incarnation is the same as him. But if he wants to fight with others, his level of cultivation is only the state of transformation. But it's enough. Anyway, that guy Xiao Xian already knew his identity. With this external incarnation, if something urgent happens, he can leave a clone in the Xiao family. The real body goes outside to solve the problem. As for the rest of the Xiao family, in their eyes, they have the cultivation of becoming gods. So there is no need to worry about being exposed. In the Flame Mountain, Xiao Yan exhaled a breath and slowly stood up. The moment he heard Xiao Xian's message, he felt a little regretful. If only I could give him some more time. He can understand more of the artistic conception of fire. Even breaking through the realm of fire is not a problem. But fortunately, he still has the seeds of Samadhi true fire in his body. As long as he practices hard, he can always merge them into the real Samadhi true fire. On the top of Huaguo Mountain, Xiao Tianyuan has absorbed all the blood of the Chaos Demon Ape. A terrifying turbulent force burst out from him. I saw him slowly stand up. A spiritual stick formed by condensed spiritual energy gradually appeared in his hand. Although it's not as good as the Chaos Demon Ape stick. But this one also has the ability to let him fight the Dao Zhan King. I saw the spiritual energy stick under his control. It flew towards a peak of Huaguo Mountain. Bang sound. The mountain peak was directly exploded. Seeing this, Xiao Tianyuan showed a satisfied smile. This time I really got a great opportunity. Not only did his combat power soar 1,000 times, but he also gained a spiritual energy stick. Even the physical body has become stronger. This stick can only destroy a mountain in the world at this time. But in the vast world, this power can directly defeat the enemy and kill the Dao King. Even Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh with emotion at Xiao Tianyuan's changes. Xiao Zhangtian, who was in 5 Elements Mountain, also gradually woke up from his practice. The first level cultivation level of the Great Dao realm, which has just been broken through, is constantly soaring at this moment. It didn't stop until it broke through to the 6th level of the Great Dao realm. The black coffin behind him also underwent several invisible changes. Not only that, Xiao Zhangtian also understood the power of the 5 elements. When he opened his eyes again, a terrifying power rushed into the sky. The fighting method of fighting the Holy Buddha. The aloof and indifferent face also showed a slight change at this moment. With my ability at this time, I should be able to ask the head of the family to help me. Xiao Zhangtian thought about it carefully. Although he won the top spot on the Dragon and Tiger ranking, his qualifications and strength have not yet reached a level that would impress Xiao Xian. Even if he spoke at that time, he would not necessarily risk implicating the entire family to help him. But it's different now. He already has the strength that can make him look at him differently. Plus this experience in the secret realm. He also realized the power of the Xiao family. Therefore, even if there is a case of taking action with Wang Xiang Tiangong, Xiao Zhangtian also has the ability to fight with him. Along with the terrifying power, it rushed into the sky. The geniuses of the Xiao family have also gradually completed their cultivation. Seeing this, Xiao Xian didn't talk nonsense and waved his hand. Then he brought all the geniuses of the Xiao family out of the secret realm. Many geniuses felt a shake as soon as they woke up. Immediately afterwards, a white mist rose. When you stabilize your body shape again. They had appeared behind Xiao Xian, and the secret realm turned into a white mist and poured into Xiao Xian's body. Immediately afterwards, the mechanical sound of the system sounded. Ding, the secret realm experience has been completed. Does the host receive feedback rewards? Xiao Xian didn't waste any time, he closed his eyes and started to receive the reward this time. Everyone in the Xiao family also unanimously remained silent and did not cause any disturbance to Xiao Xian. Ding, the host's cultivation realm has been upgraded to the 8th level of the Dao Killing King, and he has obtained a low-grade fairy spirit vein. A drop of pan peach tree's 10,000 years spiritual liquid, a westward journey elixir recipe, and a 10,000-year flat peach stone. 1 drop of Erlang Shen's essence and blood, 1 drop of Sun Wukong's essence and blood, and the power of the 5 elements to practice the law. Samadhi True Fire Seed, you can rent a roaring dog back. Low-grade fairy spirit veins, the lowest grade fairy spirit veins in Journey to the West, mixed with a faint trace of fairy energy. Long-term smoking can help improve their physical fitness and purify impurities in the body. Peach Tree 10,000 Years Spiritual Liquid, it can help ordinary spiritual roots to advance. Taking it can improve your qualifications and break through the realm. Journey to the West First Grade Immortal Pill Recipe, the lowest level elixir recipe in the world of Journey to the West, containing all first grade elixir recipes. In the world of Journey to the West, elixirs are divided into grades 1 to 9, with grade 9 being the highest. Successful refining can give birth to wisdom. Although the first grade elixir prescription is the lowest level, it is still enough to defeat many powerful people in the vast world. 1,000-year-old flat peach stone, after planting, it can grow into a flat peach tree, which can not only improve the surrounding aura. The born flat peach can also help cultivators break through the realm of cultivation, and the flat peach tree is an innate spiritual root. Erlang Shen essence and blood, contains a trace of Erlang Shen's divine power, which can improve physical fitness after absorption. There is also a chance to obtain the inheritance of Taoism and the divine power of Erlang Shen. Sun Wukong essence and blood, contains a trace of Sun Wukong's divine power, and has a chance to obtain Buddhist Taoism. Cultivation method of the power of the 5 elements, the Tathagata of many treasures suppresses the power of the 5 elements when Sun Wukong was born, and can control the 5 elements. Samadhi True Fire Seed, can control Samadhi True Fire and has a chance to transform into 6 Ding Divine Fire. Roaring Heavenly Dog, can evolve into the Heavenly Dog King, can devour the Golden Crow, and kill the Dao King with 8th level cultivation. Bind to the host and upgrade as the host upgrades, with the possibility of returning to the ancestors. After receiving this feedback reward, Xiao Xian slowly opened his eyes. Then he left here with a group of geniuses. When coming down from the back mountain, everyone passed by the demon locking tower from the station. Looking at the behemoth in front of the demon locking tower, everyone was a little surprised, especially when they felt the 8th level aura of the Dao Slaying King emanating from it. He was even more horrified and speechless. However, such a terrifying beast appeared when he saw Xiao Xian. He nodded at him as if to say hello. Then he crawled on the ground again, silently licking his paws. All the geniuses of the Xiao family couldn't believe their eyes. Even Xiao Tianyun and others were surprised when they saw the ferocious beast Qianqi. He also showed a trace of fear. But thinking about Xiao Xian's mystery, I instantly felt relieved about this scene. as the talented people on the dragon and tiger list keep leaving. Xiao Qingyun is also preparing to go to Nanming. But before leaving, she still told Xiao Xian about the scene she saw in the Sea of Consciousness. Master, this junior has gained the inheritance of Emperor Haoshan through this experience. And I worship him as my master. Before my master leaves, I have one more thing for the junior to tell you. Xiao Xian's pupils suddenly shrank. Another change brought about by a secret realm. But he still didn't show anything on his face. The other geniuses of the Xiao family were shocked when they heard this. Xiao Qingyun turned out to be a disciple of Emperor Haoshan. Originally they thought that Emperor Haoshan was the supreme ruler of heaven. But Sun Wukong was so frightened that he pissed himself off and asked for help at every turn. Such people are really not worthy of the Emperor of Heaven. But after hearing Xiao Xian explain to them the true identity of Emperor Haoshan, he changed his mind about it. At this moment, I heard that Xiao Qingyun became his disciple. They were all envious, and at the same time they also admired Xiao Qingyun for his good fortune. Although Xiao Xian was very confused in his heart, his face remained calm. He looked at Xiao Qingyun quietly, nodded towards her, and motioned for her to continue. Xiao Qingyun saw that Xiao Xian did not let anyone else leave. Then you know what Xiao Xian is thinking. Master asked this junior to say hello to you, and also said that he is waiting for your return at the place where he first saw you. This time, not only everyone in the Xiao family was shocked. Even Xiao Xian was shocked. Emperor Haoshan is the founding spirit, and even Tathagata Buddha has to bow his head in front of him. But he said such humble words to Xiao Xian. Then, they remembered the look from the Tai's Hang Lejun into Shita Palace. Everyone saw it, but they could only sense Xiao Xian's aura, but not his appearance. Then how powerful Xiao Xian is. Otherwise, even a powerful being like Emperor Haoshan would have to be called a junior in front of Xiao Xian. So how terrifying must his strength be in the prehistoric world? When everyone in the Xiao family thought of this, they felt like their souls were being exploded. Xiao Xian just nodded lightly when he heard this. I understand, you go back first. Even the tone was extremely bland. This shocked the geniuses of the Xiao family even more. But only Xiao Xian himself knew how shocking Xiao Qingyun's words were. At the same time, this also expanded the doubts in Xiao Xian's heart. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 98. Xiao Xian has been deep in thought since returning to the room. There were too many uncontrollable factors in the secret realm created this time. And those superpowers who originally belonged to the prehistoric era seemed to know themselves. This had to make Xiao Xian doubt the secret realm that the system asked him to create. It's not just a fantasy. Perhaps the things involved here involve those great powers from the prehistoric era. But this is just Xiao Xian's own speculation. He also knew that even if he asked the system, the other party would not give him any reply. At this time, Xiao Jianfeng's voice sounded from outside the door. Master, Jianfeng would like to see you. Xiao Jianfeng is the chief executive of the Xiao family and oversees all matters of the Xiao family. Since he took the throne, he has helped a lot. On weekdays, unless there was nothing important, he would not come to see you. So Xiao Xian opened the door directly and stepped out of the door. I heard Xiao Jun's voice coming continuously. This Xiao Zhangtian has something special. Not only is his qualifications comparable to those of Xiao Jiangxin's geniuses. The black coffin behind him is even more mysterious, resembling the legendary coffin from the era. But why is this guy always staring at me? I am just a small affiliate, and my qualifications are even more ordinary. In comparison, the exotic flowers and plants in this yard, as well as the trees with innate spiritual roots, are more worthy of attention. Still watching? I've already looked back, but you still don't know how to look back. You think you are that old bastard Xiao Xian. One glance can reveal the essence of a person. Let me tell you, this guy has the legendary social badass syndrome. Xiao Junlin's complaining voice made even Xiao Xian laugh. As soon as he walked out of the door, he saw Xiao Zhangtian carrying a black coffin. Standing opposite Xiao Junlin, staring at him intently. Xiao Junlin felt guilty after being stared at by this look. Brother, you've been staring at me since I walked in. Is there something dirty on my face? When Xiao Zhangtian heard this, he just shook his head indifferently. Now Xiao Junlin was even more confused. Then why are you always staring at me? Xiao Zhangtian explained, brothers Xiao Jiangxin and others told me that those who can be favored by the family head. You are not an ordinary person. Although you are just a handyman in the owner's yard. Your qualifications are mediocre and a bit poor, but you were able to enter the secret realm twice. This is a unique exception. Therefore, I took a second look at you. These words almost made Xiao Junlin angry and vomited blood. He spoke with mediocre qualifications. If he hadn't practiced Go Shen Dao, he would have wanted to prove his strength on the spot. Ha ha, my qualifications are mediocre to begin with, maybe the head of the family thinks I'm quite diligent. Xiao Zhangtian said meaningfully, and then stopped talking. Now even Xiao Jianfeng was attracted by Xiao Zhangtian's words. When it comes to practicing diligently, there are a lot of people in the family who are more diligent than him. Why could Xiao Junlin get such special treatment? Therefore, the look he looked at Xiao Junlin was also a bit inquisitive. Xiao Junlin was completely furious now. Obviously doing well. There is also Xiao Xian, the head of the family, who is covering the front. The result was that because of Xiao Xian, he fell into suspicion. Therefore, even the look he looked at Xiao Xian had a bit of resentment. Seeing Xiao Junlin like this, Xiao Xian felt happy in his heart. Apart from doing things for his sister, this was the first time that Xiao Junlin felt embarrassed in front of him. Elder Jianfeng, you came to my family head to discuss something important. Xiao Xian coughed twice and brought his attention back to himself. His gaze swept over Xiao Zhangtian's body without leaving any trace. In fact, when he saw Xiao Zhangtian, he already knew what Xiao Jianfeng wanted from him. But he didn't open his mouth to point it out. He didn't speak until Xiao Jianfeng finished saying all this. The Wangxiang Tiangong is an old clan in ancient times. At that time, even the Kailan sect in its heyday did not dare to compete with it. Although my Xiao family has the martial god Xiao Wuxi sitting in charge, it can't compete with the Wangxiang celestial palace. Xiao Xian's words made Xiao Zhangtian's heart sink. It's not that he doesn't know the Xiao family's situation, whether its strength or resources. Or even the cultivators in the family are unable to compete with the established clans that have been standing since ancient times. But he still wanted to give it a try. The main purpose of Xiao Jianfeng's visit to Xiao Xian this time was to make Xiao Zhangtian give up the idea of rescuing his childhood sweetheart. But as Xiao Zhangtian's adoptive father, he still had to fight for what he should fight for. So when he heard this, he knew what Xiao Xian was going to say next. He was just about to say goodbye and leave with Xiao Zhangtian. Unexpectedly, Xiao Xian's words gave Xiao Zhangtian a little more hope. If the Xiao family really wants to face off against the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace, even if you are a genius like Xiao Tianyuan, it will never be possible. The moment Xiao Zhangtian heard this, suddenly I felt like my heart sank to the bottom of the lake. Xiao Tianyuan is one of the most evil geniuses in the Xiao family, and he is also Xiao Xian's nephew. Even he. However, what Xiao Xian said later gave Xiao Zhangtian hope. But your adoptive father has put in so much effort for the Xiao family over the years. For the sake of your adoptive father's face, I will give you a chance. You think we should not wake up so early? I only agreed to it for the sake of your adoptive father's face. As for whether you have the strength, the head of this family will not hesitate to risk implicating the entire Xiao family. To confront the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace, it depends on whether you can complete my mission. Xiao Zhangtian agreed without thinking. Master, please tell me, the funeral will be completed. Compared with going to the Vientiane Heavenly Palace alone, there is no chance of winning. With Xiao Xian's promise, he can at least have a chance to compete with the Wangxiang Tiangong. Even if the conditions given by Xiao Xian are difficult to reach the sky, he will try his best to fight for it. Xiao Xian looked at him and nodded with satisfaction. Although I am the head of the Xiao family, I am not the only one in the Xiao family. If you want the Xiao family to come forward, you must have that ability. There is still half a year until the list of the 36 geniuses of southern Xinjiang is released. I want you to become one of the 36 geniuses of southern Xinjiang within this 6 months. You can do it. It can be done. Xiao Zhangtian looked at Xiao Xian firmly. Even Xiao Junlin gasped at Xiao Xian's conditions. This condition is tantamount to a disguised rejection. You must know that southern Xinjiang includes Tianzhou, Lizhu, Tianluo territory, etc. The total number of large and small areas is 81. These geniuses will compete for the only 36 genius positions from these 81 domains. Even if the major prodigies do not practice, they all need to be at least in the hollow void realm. Not to mention after the Qianlong Tianjiao list came out. All the geniuses are constantly improving themselves, and now they want to be on the list of the 36 geniuses in southern Xinjiang. Only after breaking through the cave virtual realm, will there be any possibility. But Xiao Zhangtian only has the cultivation level of the Great Dao realm. If you want to break through to the Dongxi realm within half a year, it will be difficult to reach the sky. And while he continues to make breakthroughs, other geniuses are also continuing to practice. Head of the family, this condition. Xiao Jianfeng took a step forward, wanting to make Xiao Xian change his mind. Or you can change to another condition. However, Xiao Zhangtian said categorically, Father, I will definitely complete it. My name will definitely be on the list of 36 geniuses in southern Xinjiang. He knew that this was Xiao Xian's final concession. If he wants the Xiao family to stand up for him, he must show his own strength. Only in this way can everyone stop talking. Even if he only has half a year, he will definitely work hard. Xiao Xian nodded with satisfaction. In that case, the head of this family will wait for the day when you will be on the list. Xiao Jianfeng on the side saw this and knew that it would be useless to say anything more. Even as a foster father, he could not interfere with the matters decided by Xiao Zhangtian. Even Xiao Junlin was surprised by Xiao Zhangtian's courage. At the same time, it also made him interested in Xiao Zhangtian's insistence on confronting Wangxiang Tiangong. When Xiao Zhangtian and the two were about to walk out of the door, Xiao Junlin's voice sounded slowly. Master, I remember you said last time that there will be a sudden change in spiritual energy recovery in the vast world. I wonder if the family is ready. Do you need my help? After Xiao Zhangtian heard Xiao Junlin's question, the steps paused involuntarily. The revival of spiritual energy may be a turning point for him. Therefore, Xiao Zhangtian looked at Xiao Junlin with a little gratitude. Xiao Xian also knew that Xiao Junlin was deliberately reminding Xiao Zhangtian and did not say anything. But this guy was so stubborn that he actually poked the broom and stood side by side with him. He looked at his baby's first grown appearance with a look on his face. Hey, tell me, can Xiao Zhangtian break through to the cave void realm within half a year? You, a handyman with mediocre qualifications, can do it, so why can't he, as the Xiao family's darling, not be able to do it? Xiao Xian's words made Xiao Junlin angry to death. Looking at Xiao Xian's leaving figure, he cursed crazily in his heart again. You old bastard, I have finally changed my mind about your grandpa Junlin, and I want to treat you respectfully. In the end, you sent it to my door to be scolded by me, Lao Yanbai, you damn old bastard. Xiao Xian's face gradually darkened as he listened to the abuse in Xiao Junlin's heart. He stopped and turned around to look at Xiao Junlin. I remember that the family is in urgent need of an herb to refine elixirs, and your sister just got the opportunity. Let her go to the extremely cold Netherworld mountain and bring back a millennium Netherworld grass. By the way, the Netherworld grass is guarded by an adult Netherworld snake. Xiao Junlin's abdominal slander also stopped the moment Xiao Xian's voice fell. There was even a buzzing sound in his head. Adult Nether snake. That has the combat power of a Dao-killing king. It can even challenge others at the same level, not to mention that it still has the 9 yin bloodline in its body. As long as you are touched by it, you will be poisoned. This poison will also turn into ice threads to instantly solidify the heart and paralyze the opponent's nerves. Such a monster-level monster, let his sister, a cultivator of the great Dao realm, go. Is this teasing his sister or him? Xiao Junlin seriously doubted that Xiao Xian could hear his own voice. How else to explain that this mission came by such a coincidence? But how could he hear his own inner thoughts? Xiao Junlin collapsed, holding his head and shouting. Xiao Xian, you are indeed an old yin, if you have the ability, come directly to me. I wish I could rip out your skin, pull out your tendons and drink your blood. Looking at Xiao Junlin, who was almost driven crazy by him, Xiao Xian was in a good mood and was playing with the flowers and plants in the garden very comfortably. Seeing Xiao Xian like this, Xiao Junlin felt that his heart was about to spurt blood, and he ran away angrily. The other side. Xiao Jianfeng and Xiao Zhantian, father and son, have returned to their courtyard. Looking at Xiao Zhangtian's determined face. Although Xiao Jianfeng couldn't bear to attack him, he still wanted to make some things clear. Zhangtian, my father knows that you really want to save Longling, but the list of the 36 prodigies in southern Xinjiang. It's definitely not something you can get into if you want to. In half a year, it's almost impossible for you to. Father, I have made up my mind, please stop trying to persuade me. Xiao Zhangtian knew what Xiao Jianfeng wanted to say. But now that he has decided, he will not change. Compared to facing off against the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace, the list of 36 geniuses in southern Xinjiang is nothing at all. Xiao Jianfeng sighed and stopped persuading. Father, my son is here to say goodbye to you today. Xiao Zhangtian saluted Xiao Jianfeng. The revival of spiritual energy is coming in these few days, and I have already made plans. Prepare to seize this opportunity to revive spiritual energy and help the child break through the cave realm. Xiao Jianfeng knew that Xiao Zhangtian had already decided, so he just patted him on the shoulder. Go, father, there are also treasures given by the master of the family, you can take them with you too. The rest of being a father can't help much, but you have to remember one thing. You will always have a foster father behind you. And the entire Xiao family. Xiao Zhangtian nodded solemnly, my child, remember, adoptive father, farewell. 10 days later. There were constant bursts of thunder in the sky. Purple lightning struck down from the sky and turned into thunderbolts. This means that the spiritual energy tide is coming. The Xiao family had already started making preparations 10 days ago. Not only does it strengthen the family formation, it is even specially designed to absorb spiritual energy. After setting up an exclusive formation, Xiao Xian buried all the spiritual veins rewarded by the system into the Xiao family's residence. This time my spiritual energy revived, and Xiao Xian had full information. Be the biggest winner. After the thunderbolt flashed, a huge eye appeared in the sky. Those eyes are clear in black and white, but they carry an unshakable immensity of divine power. The moment everyone faced him, they felt like they were being seen through. At the same time as the giant eye appeared, a large number of spiritual energy surges appeared in various mountains and blessed places in the vast world. Countless spiritual energy surged out from the ground. When seeing this scene, Everyone in the vast continent had a glimmer of light in their eyes. The moment the giant eye appears, Xiao Xian ordered everyone in the family to activate the formation when the spiritual energy tide began. All spiritual energy merged in the direction of the Xiao family. Xiao Qingyun also made preparations early to use the imperial jade seal in conjunction with the supreme divine cord. Increased the influx of spiritual energy at this moment. After the entire Tianzhou's spiritual energy recovered, it flowed endlessly towards the Xiao family and Nanming. Everyone in the Xiao family also started their own practice. The enlightenment room was already full of people. The aura here is many times that of the outside, above the 6th floor. The spiritual energy turned into 10 centimeters of spiritual water, fully covering them. Everyone in the Xiao family is also making continuous breakthroughs. The other side. Xiao Zhangtian also appeared in front of a cave. He carried the black coffin into the cave and immediately placed it heavily on the ground. A huge pit suddenly appeared in front of us. Immediately afterwards, he put the black coffin vertically into the pit and jumped in. And the spiritual energy that was originally scattered around the cave all converged towards him at this moment. The spiritual energy at the bottom of the pit surged up like a spring. Over time, Xiao Zhangtian's cultivation realm is also constantly breaking through the 7th, 8th, and 9th levels of the Great Dao realm. Then only a roaring sound was heard. A Dharma figure appeared behind Xiao Zhangtian, holding a black coffin that was taller than him. The black coffin exuded a faint light, and seemed to be able to bury the world within it. Xiao Zhangtian slowly opened his eyes. An aura belonging to a strong man in the cave void realm burst out. But he did not stop practicing. Because his goal is to overcome the tribulation realm. Only by breaking through the tribulation realm can he have the strength to become one of the 36 geniuses of southern Xinjiang. In the past few days since leaving the Xiao family, he kept searching and finally found this cave. This cave doesn't seem to have anything special, but it can be seen from the direction of the mountains. It is the convergence point of the entire mountain range. Coupled with the function of the black coffin, it is enough to gather all the spiritual energy of the entire mountain range here. This was also the main reason why he chose to leave the Xiao family. Although the Xiao family's spiritual energy is rich, it is far from enough for him. As time goes by, the entire valley's spiritual energy had been absorbed by Xiao Zhangtian. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 99. Gathering all the spiritual energy of the mountains into one place greatly speeds up the practice. But Xiao Zhangtian was not happy about this. I can use this method, and others can use it, although it's not as scary as me. But they have more powerful talents than me, not to mention those top forces. Now that my strength has been upgraded to the Dongxi realm, the strength of those veteran geniuses, it will also reach a more terrifying stage. If I want the head of the family to show up, I have to work harder than them. I originally planned to look for that opportunity later, but now it seems I have to leave early. Only when I get that great opportunity can I have the ability to surpass those old geniuses. When Xiao Zhangtian talked about that opportunity, his eyes shone. With that opportunity, breaking through the tribulation realm is just a piece of cake. I just hope that I can get it in my hands. After all, this is the only inheritance left by the abandoned Tianwu god in the vast world. Now I only have half a year left, I must get this inheritance. Even Xiao Wuxi couldn't compare to Qishan martial god's fighting power. Not only did he conquer the eternal galaxy, but he also visited all the heavens and worlds. From practice to the peak, there has never been a failure. Known as the most powerful man in ancient times. However, since the other party became the great emperor, he has never appeared in the public eye again. For this reason, there are countless legends about him in the vast world. The most widespread legend is that he has passed away. The inheritance left by such a strong man is enough to scare the entire boundless world. Even if it is only left over from his youth, it's enough to make everyone scramble for it. Xiao Zhangtian then headed towards the location of the inheritance left by the abandoned Tianwu god. However, he did not realize that the entire vast world had undergone tremendous changes. An ancient mountain suddenly exploded. A terrifying monstrous force came from it. All the surrounding forces are gathering here. With the premise of spiritual energy tide, this momentum suddenly appeared. Let them all think that there is a great opportunity inside. A young man slowly walked out of the blasted mountain. After so many years, I finally woke up from the seal. Is this the world of great opportunity that Father God mentioned back then? The aura exuded by the young man made the surrounding forces even more excited. They felt that this young man got a great opportunity from here. That's why such a big change happened. At this moment, an onlooker from the cave void realm jumped up, trying to go to the exploded mountain. But he was stopped by the young man with one arm before he could react. Then he cut him down and killed him. Immediately afterwards, a stream of pale white air flowed from his body into the young man's body. The heavenly path list, spiritual energy recovery, and spiritual energy tide are indeed the world calculated by Father God. In this world, there is actually a legacy that surpasses the great emperor. Interesting. A strong man in the cave void realm was killed inexplicably, and his method was even more bizarre. The surrounding forces couldn't help but be afraid, and they didn't even want the opportunity inside. They all left around. The young man obtained the man's memory and discarded the body in the mountains. The geniuses who are on the Qianlong Tianjiao list will not only receive heavenly rewards, but also, you can also compete for the 36 geniuses list in southern Xinjiang and participate in the final general list of the vast world. But this process is too troublesome. If you want to be listed among the 36 geniuses of southern Xinjiang, you must be in the top 10 on the prodigy list within the region. Before that, you must first enter the dragon list. This process is too time-consuming. It's better to just knock down the top one on the list of geniuses. Since he will wake up during this time period, it proves that the world of great opportunities mentioned by Father God has arrived. Then, the young man rose into the air and headed into the distance. But his voice continued to echo in the sky. I, Wang Teng, was born in the period of the great emperor. I was born with strange phenomena when I was born. He is born with the appearance of a great emperor, and is even more invincible among his peers. Of course, the great emperor is not my ultimate pursuit. What I want is an existence beyond the great emperor. For this reason, the family has exhausted its eternal resources and sealed me to this day, just waiting for the opportunity to arise. I am even willing to sacrifice myself to cultivate myself, just to be able to transcend in this life. Who else is qualified to get this great opportunity besides me? The young man's voice continued to ring through the sky. His words shocked countless people. The powerful men who can be called great emperors are all powerful men from ancient times. Unexpectedly, even the great powers from ancient times were involved in this revival of spiritual energy. In an ancient clan, countless people gathered in front of an ancient mountain. Among them there are many powerful men like the Dao-killing king and the Supreme Lord. There is even a warrior god. These people are all the top forces in the vast continent. At this moment, they looked at the stone gate in front of them with great respect and awe. At this time, the stone door exuding an ancient atmosphere slowly opened. Everyone took a step forward with a thought. A young man wearing a yellow robe walked out of the cave. I have given up many years of cultivation just for the great opportunity of this life. If I cannot transcend this, everything I have planned, even my death, is just a dream. The young man's voice was full of vicissitudes of life, and his eyes fell on the strong men in front of him one by one. Immediately afterwards, these powerful men and women all knelt on the ground in fear. Unworthy descendants, pay homage to our ancestors. The young man in yellow robe nodded. Everyone, get up. You have done a good job in protecting me. If I can successfully transcend, you are the biggest contributors, and I will definitely not let you down. Everyone was overjoyed when they heard this. However, in one room, a woman was crying and laughing heartbrokenly. What an ancestor, what a loyal and dedicated descendant. In order to be resurrected, even my son was sacrificed. After saying this, the woman destroyed her dantian, shattered the heavenly spirit cap, and died. That's when the young man in yellow robe frowned slightly and looked at the sect leader beside him with an angry expression. Why do I still suffer from the resistance of the remaining soul in my body? The clan leader was stunned for a moment, then realized and stepped forward cautiously. In order to allow you to better seize this body, we imprisoned the mother of this body. Now his mother has died of self-mutilation, presumably due to the telepathy between mother and son. The young man in yellow robe looked at the clan leader in front of him calmly. Even though he was already a martial god, when facing this young man, I couldn't help but feel frightened. Immediately afterwards, the clan leader suddenly spurted out a mouthful of blood, and even his body was trembling. When the young man in yellow robe saw this, he turned around indifferently. Did you know that because of this woman's death, I still have to spend time dealing with this residual consciousness? In today's vast world, every minute of my time is very precious. It was precisely because of this that the young man in yellow robe couldn't help but get angry. This is just an example of what happened today. If it hadn't been for this, I would be able to challenge the talent list right now. After saying that, the young man in yellow robe jumped up and flew directly into the sky. The young man in yellow robe is one of the legendary emperors who shocked the world in ancient times. In the Northern Territory at this time, a young man in black is killing everyone. Those in front of him were ferocious beasts at the level of the Deo Slayer King. However, he was as easy as killing ants. When I was planning this, I kept a hand in order to prevent what happened today from happening. The young man in black killed the last ferocious beast without changing his expression. All kinds of corpses were piled around him. However, the young man could remain calm and watch all of this indifferently. As the great demon cultivator of the demon clan, I have been sealed and asleep for many years, just to transcend in this life. How can I be interrupted by traitors like you? However, your cultivation level can be my best nutrient. Even if it cannot reach 1/10 of the level of the previous life, it can still break through to the peak of the tribulation realm. Mo Xiu, Great Emperor Mo Shaoshang, was one of the top emperors in ancient times. One of the giants of the time. Dong Huang, a genius who had dominated the heavenly path ranking for several months, was being crushed and beaten by a newly emerged genius. He didn't even have the ability to fight back. Tianjiao couldn't even take a single move. Everyone looked at the scene in horror. With the last palm of the new genius fell. The top spot fell directly from the sky. A huge mushroom cloud exploded instantly. The new genius looked at him indifferently. With such a low level, he can't even take one of my moves, yet he can still dominate the rankings for several months. This level is bad enough. Today, I take the top spot. Then he looked down with disdain and turned to leave. The young man below looked forbearing and unwilling, but he did not dare to make any rebuttal. This newly emerged talent is so terrifying that it doesn't look like someone from the cave realm. Also at this time, there was a new person at the top of the list of heavenly Deo, and the original genius also appeared on the list of dragons. Things like this are constantly happening throughout the vast world. More and more unknown geniuses emerge. Soon, rumors about these geniuses spread throughout the vast world. These newly emerged geniuses are all emperors from ancient times, or even the sons of the emperors who have returned. This can also explain why they can easily defeat the local genius. Strength and cultivation are not in the same realm at all. At the same time, everyone in the Vientiane heavenly palace was kneeling respectfully in the main hall at this moment. Sitting at the head of the hall was a young man. You all know the main reason why the world sent this young master down, right? This young master even cut off his own cultivation. If you cannot complete the task, you know what the consequences will be, so with this great opportunity, Wangxiang Heavenly Palace cannot afford to slack off. Everyone responded in fear, I will obey the instructions of the young master. Among them, there are also 3 martial gods. It can be seen that this young man's identity is unusual. By the way, whether all the materials for the sacrifice are ready or not is a matter of whether this young master can transcend. After hearing this, the master of the Vientiane Heavenly Palace took a step forward. Because the matter was carried out in a relatively secretive manner, only 4 people have been found so far. They are all imprisoned in the dungeon, but we have also locked 3 more, and we can bring them back just waiting for the right opportunity. The remaining 2 are still being searched. The young master can rest assured that before the list of the 36 geniuses is released, we will definitely be able to find them all without affecting your access to great opportunities. The young man nodded slowly when he heard this. Then you should hurry up and let me first go and win the top spot in this domain. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when they saw that the young man was not to blame. As time goes by, almost all the top names on the list of geniuses in the vast world have undergone major changes. Even Bai Ruofeng, who had always been ranked 10th in Tianzhou, was replaced. The 10th genius of the Tianluo realm turned into a boy in white named Luo Fanchen. And Bai Ruofeng became the top of the Jiaolong challenge list. This huge change has attracted the attention of many people. However, everyone did not wait for the reaction of who this new genius was. Luo Fanchen appeared in the sky above the Xiao family. Even everyone in the Xiao family was attracted by this man. At the same time, a line of small words appeared on the Tiandao ranking. Tiandao ranking, the challenge of Tiandao ranking Tianjiao cannot be refused if you do not fight, it will be regarded as a waiver. Where is Xiao Tianyuan? I'm here in the mortal world to fight. Luo Fanchen's voice kept echoing over the Xiao family. This sound also attracted the attention of countless forces. As early as 2 months ago, Xiao Tianyuan and Xiao Qingyuan had a battle. Xiao Tianyuan defeated Xiao Qingyuan and became the top of the Tiandao ranking. However, Xiao Qingyuan did not try his best to fight against Xiao Tianyuan. But everyone in the Xiao family also knows it very well. Even if Xiao Qingyuan tried his best, it would be difficult for her and Xiao Tianyuan to decide the winner. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 100. At this time, in the sky above the Xiao family, an aura that could shock everyone rose into the sky. When countless creatures felt this aura, they turned their sights to the sky. At this time, the terrifying existence of the Xiao family has appeared on the screen of the rankings. During this period, the top spots on the lists of geniuses in the vast continent were constantly updated and replaced. There are even rumors that the emperor and his son from ancient times have returned. Therefore, everyone is extremely concerned about Luo Fanchen's challenge to Xiao Tianyuan. But at this time, it was far outside Tianluo territory. There are 3 figures rushing towards Tianluo territory. When they saw the figure in white on the Tiandao ranking list, they couldn't help but stop. Luo Fanchen actually took action, the 3 of them were shocked. It can be seen from the expressions of the 3 of them that Luo Fanchen is the object of their fear. I thought we arrived early enough, but we didn't expect Luo Fanchen to be 1 step ahead of us. Now that he has taken action, the top spot in Tianluo domain has nothing to do with us. To meet Luo Fanchen. What a damn unlucky thing. Let's go and find the next area quickly, otherwise we don't know who we will encounter. One of them was about to turn around and leave, but was stopped by the other 2. Now that you're here, let's see what this Luo mortal can do after his reincarnation. Yes, don't you want to know how much strength Luo Fanchen, known as the Dead Immortal, still has now? The other person sneered at this. Even if Luo Fanchen is reincarnated, his strength cannot be underestimated. Is it possible that you still think that the genius of Tian Luo realm can force out his full strength? Don't forget his sword move, which is known as the Death Immortal. Even if everyone in the heavens sees him, they must be polite. Not to mention that when he was at his peak, he destroyed 3 ancient capitals. You and I heard this with our own ears. Even if the 3 of you and I join forces, we still choose to give up the competition for the position of Tian Luo Domain's Tianjiao at the moment we see him. Another person agreed. No matter how powerful Xiao Tianyun is, he is still in the Tian Luo domain. He can only lose against Luo Fanchen. However, the young man at the head didn't feel that way. Since the Xiao family can have someone on the heavenly Dao ranking, it proves that it still has strength. And this Xiao Tianyun has never seen any other achievements except fighting against Xiao Qingyun. The other 2 couldn't help but smile when they heard what he said. This doesn't mean anything. Even the great emperors in the vast world must be careful when encountering Luo Morchen. What's more, a little genius from the Tian Luo domain. But since you want to see it, my 2 brothers are happy to accompany you. It only takes a few breaths. Then the 3 of them headed towards Tian Luo territory together. At the same time, the news that Luo Fanchen was the reincarnation of the ancient emperor also spread throughout Tian Luo domain. Especially his sword moves known as the Death Immortal. It shocked the entire beings in the Tian Luo territory. For a moment, everyone felt that Xiao Tianyun had been defeated by Luo Fanchen. It's just a matter of a few moves. Xiao Tianyun, who was practicing, also slowly woke up. Not only did I realize a bit of Quafu's power during this training, but I also integrated a lot of the bloodline of the Chaos Demon Ape. It can be said that the combat effectiveness has increased by more than 100 times, but I don't know what it will be like in actual combat. Just in time, let's try it with the reincarnation of the Emperor to see how powerful these 2 are. After saying that, he looked towards Luo Fanchen above the sky. His eyes were filled with infinite fighting spirit. Then he soared into the air, just 1 breath away. Xiao Tianyun appeared in front of Luo Fanchen. The aura exuding from his body is enough to suppress all directions and deter the 3 realms. Xiao Tianyun looked directly at Shang Luo Fanchen. As the 2 collided, the surrounding barriers were slightly shattered. Even the sky was trembling slightly. Everyone was surprised. Just the collision of eyes can unleash such powerful power. If they really fight, wouldn't they have the power to destroy heaven and earth? Even so, there are also many people who are not optimistic about Xiao Tianyun. Although Xiao Tianyun is one of the strongest geniuses of the Xiao family and is even more invincible among his peers, the opponent is the reincarnation of an ancient emperor. No matter how powerful he is, he can't overcome the overwhelming force of his absolute strength. At this time, the 3 people who were rushing to the Xiao family in Tian Luo domain saw the scene on the scoreboard. They couldn't help but stop, and one of them even showed an expression of appreciation. This genius of the Xiao family is not bad. Although the other 2 people were surprised that Xiao Tianyun had an aura that was comparable to Luo Fanchen. But if he really wanted to take action, Xiao Tianyun was still a long way off. As expected of the Xiao family's genius who occupies 7 rankings on the heavenly ranking. His qualifications are indeed good. It's a pity that his opponent is Luo Fanchen. If Luo Fanchen takes action, even if he doesn't die, he will still be half disabled. It's a pity. If he continues to grow, it is possible to surpass you and me. At this moment, the Xiao family is in mid-air. Luo Fanchen was also surprised by Xiao Tianyun's strength. A young disciple from a later generation was actually able to take on his own move. Yes, this rich and natural aura is worthy of the name of Tianxiao. Xiao Tianyun nodded lightly, Thank you. Since you are here to challenge me, let's take action. Luo Fanchen laughed dumbly. I praise you for your good qualifications, but it doesn't mean that you have the ability to fight with me. Xiao Tianyuan also smiled when he heard this. I know the reincarnation of the ancient emperor, but if you and I don't learn from each other, how can we know what the final result will be? Luo Fanchen was thoroughly amused by Xiao Tianyuan, and even his eyebrows showed his appreciation for him. He is a good seedling. Let's do this. I will ask you to follow me. And we will provide you with the best resources. Given time, you will surely be crowned emperor. Luo Fanchen's voice reached every corner of the Tianluo realm through the ranking screen. Countless creatures were excited after hearing his promise. If it were anyone else, they might question it. But this is the personal promise of the ancient emperor. Since he has already spoken to help him become emperor, it proves that it can be done. That's a height that many people can't pursue in their entire lives. Anyone would nod in agreement without hesitation. However, Xiao Tianyuan remained unmoved. Take action. Luo Fanchen raised his eyebrows, obviously not expecting Xiao Tianyuan to be unmoved by the olive branch extended to him. But if the other party agreed easily, he would have to think about it. It seems that you don't believe in my strength. In this case, I will beat you until you are convinced. After saying that, Luo Fanchen stretched out his hand to signal Xiao Tianyuan to take action first. Xiao Tianyuan didn't waste any time, he jumped into the air and punched Luo Fanchen. This punch actually made the air around him still. A terrifying majestic momentum is like falling into the mortal world. Everyone was horrified when they saw this. Xiao Tianyuan does not have the cultivation level of the tribulation realm, but this punch of his. But he has the strength of the peak Dao Slayer King. The top spot on the heavenly Dao ranking is indeed well deserved. Even the three Emperor conferring experts who were watching from the side showed horrified eyes when they saw this scene. Even Luo Fanchen was facing such a punch. A trace of astonishment also flashed in his eyes. But this can only make him take action, nothing more. I saw him using his hand instead of the sword and gently swinging it forward. A flash of extreme sword light instantly moved towards Xiao Tianyuan's punch. Boom! Under the collision of fists and swords, even the surrounding void was shattered. The airflow seemed to turn into substance at this moment, and the sky also trembled. Immediately afterwards, everyone looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. Luo Fanchen was actually repelled. And it's still 5 steps. This may not matter to others. But the other party is the reincarnation of the ancient emperor. Even Luo Fanchen himself looked at the distance between himself and Xiao Tianyuan in shock. Obviously he didn't expect that he had the ability to repel him. The three Emperor conferring experts who were far away on the edge of the Tianluo domain were also shocked when they saw this scene. Has Luo Fanchen released the water? No, he really defeated the Xiao family's genius. When everyone heard the conversation between the three people, they all cast horrified looks at Xiao Tianyuan. Even the three powerful emperors were looking at Xiao Tianyuan again at this moment. As reincarnated emperors, they would never be able to take things lightly. Because they are reincarnated for only one purpose: get great opportunities and gain transcendence. Luo Fanchen frowned slightly. I didn't expect that this emperor actually made a mistake. In that case, let me see what kind of strength you have. Say it. A long sword appeared in Luo Fanchen's hand. The blade of the sword actually carries a majestic sword power. I saw him swing a sword. The sky shook and everything changed. Even the void barrier is constantly shattering. When the three powerful emperors saw this scene, their expressions were shocked. I didn't expect that after Luo Fanchen was reincarnated, he could still maintain the strength of his previous life. This sword doesn't even have any flaws. We are really beyond our reach. Although the Xiao Tianyuan is powerful, under such a sword, the only result is defeat. Then they turned their attention to Xiao Tianyuan. Although they already knew the result, they still wanted to see it. The genius of the Xiao family who was able to repel Luo Fanchen faced such a sword. What kind of defense or offense will be made? The great emperor's sword is indeed terrifying. But it was still far from the move he used against Xiao Jiangxin. I saw him punching the air. After being forged with the blood of the Chaos Demon Ape, his combat power is more than 1,000 times greater than before. Plus a hint of Quafu's power of understanding. It's no exaggeration to say that this punch could shatter the sky. The Emperor's sword met with Xiao Tianyun's punch. It was shattered instantly. The void barrier also made a shattering sound at this moment. Turned into irregular pieces floating in the air. Next moment, Xiao Tianyun jumped up and punched in the air. A majestic momentum drove countless void fragments. A critical attack towards the front. Everyone felt like the world was shaking. Countless thunder and thunderbolts continued to sound in the air. I saw two figures intertwined in the sky. Every collision of fists and swords made a huge sound. After the explosion of power, the shaking screen of the rankings briefly went black. Even the Tiandao ranking has announced it. The power is huge, cultivators below the tribulation realm must get out of the way. However, what was more shocking than the official announcement from the Tiandao ranking was the fight between Xiao Tianyun and Luo Fanchen. Xiao Tianyun has been suppressing Luo Fanchen from the beginning. Even if the opponent keeps trying to attack, they were all forced back by Xiao Tianyun's powerful and swift punches. At this moment, Luo Fanchen caught Xiao Tianyun's flaw. I saw him swinging a sword towards Xiao Tianyun. This sword directly divided the airflow into two halves. There are also cracks in the scoreboard screen. Just when everyone thought Xiao Tianyun was bound to lose, Xiao Tianyun stepped forward and punched Luo Fanchen in the chest. The sharpness of this punch caused countless people's expressions to change. And Luo Fanchen's body actually flew out. Everyone was shocked by this scene. This punch directly caused Luo Fanchen to spit out blood. Even as the reincarnation of the ancient emperor, he no longer has the ability to fight. Xiao Tianyun defeated the mortal world with his absolutely tyrannical strength. This moment, everyone couldn't believe their eyes. Xiao Tianyun is a native genius in the tribulation realm. He actually defeated the reincarnated ancient emperor. Even if his strength has not yet returned to the peak of his previous life. That was enough to make everyone's expression change. However, Xiao Tianyun defeated him. This scene also broke the thoughts that countless people had just had. The reincarnation of the ancient emperor and his son are not invincible. These local geniuses also have the ability to fight with them. Therefore, many geniuses have regained a lot of confidence. The three powerful emperors on the edge of the Tianluo domain. He couldn't believe that Luo Fanchen, known as the Immortal of Death, would actually be defeated by the Xiao family's genius. He was even suppressed by the other party. This is something they can't even imagine. Above the Xiao family in mid-air, Luo Fanchen stood up slowly, holding his chest, and staggered to Xiao Tianyun. I am defeated. Luo Fanchen had to admit that Xiao Tianyun was very powerful. Although he still has many trump cards in his hand. But these trump cards are not what he can use now. Xiao Tianyun's expression calmed down after hearing Luo Fanchen's words. He looked at the sword in Luo Fanchen's hand indifferently. The sword fight with Xiao Jiangxin that day came to mind. Your sword cannot even reach 1/10 of Xiao Jiangxin's level. Xiao Tianyun's words were somewhat mixed with his own desire for revenge. Who made Luo Fanchen want him to be his follower as soon as he came up? Luo Fanchen said nothing but surprise when he heard Xiao Tianyun's words. Xiao Tianyun is at the top of the Tiandao ranking, although Xiao Jiangxin is ranked third. But since they are both the geniuses of the Xiao family, it is impossible for them not to learn from each other. Therefore, the fact that he can say such things proves that Xiao Jiangxin is. His attainments in swordsmanship are indeed extraordinary. Then he turned around and left here. The entire Tianluo domain was boiling at this moment. Xiao Tianyun actually defeated the ancient emperor. Even the Tiandao ranking issued an official announcement about its combat power. It won't take long for Xiao Tianyun's name to be spread throughout Tianluo territory. There are 3 powerful emperors who are far away on the edge of Tianluo domain. After seeing Luo Fanchen defeated by Xiao Tianyun, they all turned around and left. They didn't think they could defeat the Xiao family's genius who defeated Luo Fanchen. But they can grab the top spot on the Tiandao ranking in other regions. Xiao Tianyun returned to the Xiao family and saw Xiao Xian and everyone in the Xiao family already waiting here. So he stepped forward and saluted Xiao Xian. On the other hand, Xiao Jiangxin stared at him with some annoyance. He cultivated in the Xiao family smoothly, and the results came out. I found myself with an extra enemy. Xiao Tianyun said haha, with a look on his face that said I was right. Xiao Jiangxin couldn't do anything to him. Who allowed them to have such a good relationship? Besides, what Xiao Tianyun said was true. After his sword skills were taught by Wang Lingguan, even Xiao Xian couldn't easily take him down. Jamal Xiao on the side was more concerned about what happened next. Today's incident about Xiao Tianyun's defeat in the mortal world will probably spread throughout the vast world. By then, the reincarnations of the ancient emperors and their sons may be targeting him. Xiao Xian shook his head after hearing this. The ancient emperor and his son may have been very powerful beings in their time. But in this life, he can only exist as a foil. Everyone who heard Xiao Xian's words couldn't help but be a little confused. Xiao Xian patiently explained the reason to them. A great opportunity will appear in every period, and if you want to obtain this opportunity and help yourself achieve transcendence. In addition to the realm of cultivation, you also need to experience great tribulations, life and death, and even disasters. Only by gathering these kinds of people can one transcend the secular world, but they have never transcended in ancient times. How can I succeed in this life? Great opportunities will appear in every period. The people who can get this great opportunity, accept the Son of Destiny. There are only people who have gone through hardships, and these only belong to this era. And as the ancient emperor and the emperor's son, they should have seen through everything, but they were trapped in it. It's just a delusion of the authorities. Even if it's been planned for many years, in the end, it's just a dream of prosperity. Xiao Xian's voice was very calm. But what he said was like a stone causing ripples on a calm lake. Xiao Tianyun's defeat of Luo Fanchen today is just the beginning. In the vast world, there will be more and more geniuses who can defeat the ancient emperors and the reincarnations of their sons. At that time, even if they regain their peak strength, they could not reverse the situation.